do the first Muslim opening prayer is Dr. Ibrahim B.M. Gaya. Sir, you are needed here to give us Islamic opening prayer. Thank you very much, sir, Dr. B.M. Gaya, for the Islamic opening prayers. Thank you, sir.
أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار ربنا تقبل منا السميع العليم ربنا تقبل منا السميع الدعاء سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين.
Thank you very much, our gorgeous, handsome, skillful. A round of applause for him. It's not easy. If you ask some of my brothers and sisters, come and do Surah to Fatiha story or read the Bible. I want to call on Elder Paul Awoyale to give us the Christian opening prayer. Elder Paul Awoyale, please. Thank you, sir. Our black and shine elder. When you see him on the road, you think he's just starting life. Oga is more than 60 years. Oga, I want to get old like you and still look combatant. Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon. Please, let's observe the prayers. In the name of Jesus, we give you all the glory and adoration. Thank you for allowing us to congregate here today for this special program. Father, you've been with us through the planning, and we're here today to launch the program. Power belongs to you. Father, we pray through your divine intervention, you help us throughout the politicking and all that we are doing. Every occasion here today, we commit it to your hand that it will be a success. It will be a resounding success in every way. At the end of the day, we have cause to glorify your name for all that you have done for us. All honor, all worship, all adoration belong to you. For we have prayed today in the mighty name of our Lord Jesus Christ. We have prayed. Amen.
Thank you very much. Even though they say patriotism to nation building and unity matters, because in most occasions I attended, they start with national anthem. But in my own opinion, I feel prayer exceed anything, because even the countries themselves, without prayers, they cannot survive. On this note, can we stand for national anthem? DJ, if you are ready, after the count of 1, 2, 3, you move the train, you fly the aircraft, you drive the car. Can we go? Are we set? After the count of 3, 2, 1, let's go. Thank you very much. May our sovereignty never be tried. May our unity continue to strive. May every sector of Nigeria continue to strive. God bless Nigeria. On this note, I like to, before going on the next item on our agenda, tell you on behalf of the organizers why we're here. A program is for the youth and women in the Youth and Women and Equitable Pathway for Sustainable Nigeria. Like I told you earlier, it is very important to understand the realities of the Renewed Hope Manifesto. On this note, we are going straight to the presentation and analysis of the Renewed Hope campaign so far. I need the attention of Ibrahim Mujtaba on the podium here. Ibrahim Mujtaba, where are you? Please get me Ibrahim Mujtaba, wherever he is. I'm the commander-in-chief. I have all my gallant forces from police, the other forces. If you defy my orders, I have a cell that after leaving it, you get dollars and pounds sterling. I know many Nigerians will love to go to that. Mala Ibrahim Mujtaba.
Don't mind coming. Okay, good evening. Respected ladies and gentlemen. Okay, intentionally, we wanted to give an overview of the campaign so far, but because of some technicalities, we were not able to do that. So I'll just go ahead and reel through some of the analysis we did, which emanated this initiative. So we look at the occupational demography that decides the outcome of an election within the construct of students, farmers, housewives, as well as businessmen and women. So then we try to relate it to the Renewed Hope Manifesto. So relating it, we look at it that, okay, it's connected to youth empowerment, entrepreneurship, digital economy, women empowerment, social programs. Then we raise the question and ask, has the Renewed Hope Manifesto so far communicated to these target demographics that decide an outcome of an election? Your answer might be yes, or partially yes or no. Because yes, publicity, yes. Understanding, it's relative. So we thought we can flip the chart and relate this construct to the reality of what's obtainable in an average society. So that's why we came up with this Sight and Sound series, which is understanding, which aims to understand the realities of Renewed Hope Manifesto. We know there are a lot of critical sectors or focus that are part of the manifesto, but we are more interested on these four because it reflects the highest demography that decides an outcome of an election. So we embark to do that. Like, for instance, for the digital economy component, we're having a global competency test, which is uniform all over the world. The same kind of test that can be done here in Nigeria is the same test one does in the United States, England, China, and so many other countries. So any interested, already some people have shown interest and they are currently doing the test. And at the end of the test, the ones, you don't need to even pass. The passing score is 700. But anyone that's got the highest score would get a free laptop. So that's, we want to, like, as part of the Renewed Hope, encourage people to pay attention to digital economy because there's a lot of opportunities out there. So for other components like women empowerment, there's there are panel discussion that will say more on that. I think that's just a brief. The panel discussion will discuss more, and we perhaps at the end of the discussion will evaluate whether we've flipped the chart or we're still relating to it just like we've been doing. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Mujtaba, a certified Nigerian who has been behind the scene player in both intelligence, civil service, armed forces, strategy planning. Round of applause for him. He's one young man that I pray that my children takes his type of brain, because if he sits in UN General Assembly, Nigeria will be lifted from third world country to first world country. Want to recognize the presence of Engineer Tia Simniyu Ahmad Rufai, former MD, NICOMSAT. If you are here, let's see your hands, sir. Very handsome. After this program, sir, drop your Babariga at Pilot Gate Presidential Villa. I'll pick it with the president's official car. Thank you very much. On this note, there is going to be a video play describing, is going to be presentation analysis of the Renewed Hope campaign so far. You are going to watch the video for some minutes. Our engineers, under the tutelage of Mujtaba, if you are ready, I think it is time for you to fly. Thank you. All of us, in the spirit of the enthronement of a stable, purposeful, dividend of democracy-oriented democracy, we need to again give Dr. Ibrahim Mujtaba Armed Forces style round of applause. Thank you very much. You see, some of us that have stayed long in the barracks, when we come to pure civil terrain, you find it difficult for us. My father was a barrack man, so all my life I grew up in the barrack. But thank God that I'm a pure civilian. I refuse to join. Without taking much of your time, after the overview by Ibrahim Mujtaba, just the way he x-rayed it, the way it's supposed to be, so summarized, so firm. That is for you to know our polity in Nigeria is taking a new pace. And like I told you earlier, the elections are near. February 25th is for the presidential, senatorial, House of Reps, while March is for House of Assembly in states and governorship. Shine your eye. Nobody should come to your house, just give you peanut. You will end up mortgaging your future for 4 years. We need a digitally inclined administration that will bring social security, entrepreneurship, and all stuff like that, so that you can reckon with other people across the world. Round of applause for yourselves. Yes, on this note, there is a pretty slim-looking northern lady. I think I've seen her from far when she's doing her poetic expressions in high-profile occasions in five-star hotels like Sheraton and Transcorp Hilton. But today, I have been opportune through this important program to see her face-to-face. I'm talking to no one other than Khadija Suleiman Gidado. Can you first of all stand up for recognition? You look like Shamshuna, finance minister. If I see you by the walkway, I might mistake you for her. She's going to give us poetic musings and sight and sound of renewed hope. If you are ready, come forward and do what you are used to doing. You've entertained even UN visiting envoys and diplomats. Welcome. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Standing on existing protocols, I'm Khadija Suleiman Gidado. I'm a spoken word artist. The title of my poem is Hope is Here, and it goes like this. I promise you this: Nigeria will be great. Nigeria will rise. Nigeria will again be a land of hope. Let our nation be the dream it is destined to be. Let it be that great, strong land of love, peace, and unity, where we have full security, where we have abundant food to eat. Oh, let my country be a land where we have power to light our lives, where our youth can prosper, and there are employment opportunities for all. A land where we have essential health services. A land where life is free and equality is in the air we breathe. I am a poor Nigerian pushed apart, bearing scars driven from my land. I am a young Nigerian full of hope but tangled. I am a farmer, waiting for the crops to grow so I can harvest, though I'm scared of the farm because I don't want to be shot, but my family need food. I am a man who left my home in search of a new place, which is meant to be my new home, to build a homeland for the free. Who can take us out of all the challenges now? Who can reach out to us? The road to a better Nigeria lies before us. Together, let us walk it. Together, let us renew hope. Yes, all our dreams can be possible. We can achieve all our dreams, but only if we make the right choice, if we vote the right man. And there is only one man that can bring all our dreams to life. He is the only candidate who can canoe Nigeria from its current state towards its best and brightest future. He will tackle the unfinished business of fixing our country. He has done it before and he will do it again. He has proven from his previous achievements in the private and public sector to be credible, tested, and worthy to be trusted again. To be trusted again, to return peace within our communities, safeguard our forests, secure our borders, to fight terrorism, banditry, and corruption, to reduce inefficiency and waste in government, provide quality education and health care to all, to empower our precious youth and resolute women empowerment, to create jobs and spur entrepreneurship. This is a promise that only one man can fulfill. That man is Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu means renewed hope. His candidacy is not just politics as usual. It means hope is here, security is here, prosperity is here, tolerance is here, unity is here. Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is a leader that will hold the country and its people together, a silent achiever, a quiet performer, a man for our time, a leader worthy of our trust. Let's all join hands and support him and make sure that the dream Nigeria is possible. He can't do it alone, only with your support. Support Asiwaju and make Nigeria great. Vote Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Vote APC. Thank you for listening.
Da Allah bai isa ba, another round of applause. Thank you very much. Young shall grow. This pretty, slim, enterprising, devoted, skillful, and talented lady made me remember my days from 93 till 2000. One day, I think you'll be like Dr. Nira. Another round of applause for her. Yes, Miss Blessing V. Richard, please, your attention is needed at the desk. Are we okay? Thank you very much. You see, when you form government by the grace of God, if you forget this energetic young lady, I will take you to International Criminal Court before Justice Fatu, because I wonder why this kind of people will not make special advisor to President and Commander-in-Chief on research and documentation. Most of us know late Oronto Douglas, right? That was why Jonathan picked him. And these are talented and wonderful young people. Another round of applause for her. Nigeria is great. I tell you, we are going to be like America in years to come, when, even though I am not supposed to propagate anyone because I'm supposed to be a neutral person, but I am pushed to. Because the best music I like in this world, Dr. Nira, you know it, is music of Dr. Sikiru and De Barrister. You can imagine somebody from the north loving that music. And there is one thing you don't know, Your Excellencies. You go and buy Thank You Tinubu. It was waxed in 2003 by late Ainde Barrister when Tinubu was to stand for second term election. I was right in the house of Jakande Ilukweju when that music was waxed. A round of applause for that late icon. On this note, I'd like to invite one international Nigerian African. When she's moving, she's combination of American Marine, British Metropolitan Police, Nigerian Police Force, Nigerian Navy, Nigerian Council for Women Societies, as well as other international women organizations. Permit me to invite Shirley to give us a prelude to panel discussion, especially on the topic understanding how youth empowerment and entrepreneurship will improve the human capacity building of Nigerians. Madam Shirley, if you are here, the floor is yours. You are welcome. You can see what I said as an moderator. You are welcome, ma.
Thank you so very much. standing on the existing protocol, I want to welcome you all, gentlemen and beautiful ladies, and ambassadors of this great commission to this good occasion. As a prelude to this occasion, I'd like to let you know what we have done that propelled us to move to this, to set up this function. We have done what is called random sampling of the 6 geopolitical zones, and we came up with Nigerians who are willing to speak. And therefore, we feel if we have their responses regarding the forthcoming election, these could propel some good decision making in this facet, in the group of people who are undecided. We have some undecided people among the housewives. We have yet some undecided people among the youth, and indeed the farmers. I don't want to call the informed Nigerians because you are already decided. However, if you are here, we are going to make an attempt to make you change your mind to take the right decision. At this moment, I would like to invite a few people to join me on the platform here. I'll be taking the first panel decision or the discussion here. I would like to call on my first panelist in the person of Rekia Sani. She's the Managing Director, Kogi Enterprise Development Agency. Please, madam, you're welcome to the platform. If you are here, can you give me a wave from the audience? She's not here yet. Our second panelist is going to be Alhaji Sani Umar Marshal. Alhaji Sani Umar Marshal is the chairman, CEO, Marshall Biscuits. If you are anywhere around Abuja, you must have tasted that biscuit. If you are anywhere around Kano, you know that is the delight of the people. You're welcome, sir. Please make your way. Our third panelist is going to be Dr. Clement Otu. Dr. Clement Otu is the president, Valuepreneur. Okay, he's the president, Valuepreneur. You are welcome to the platform. Please make your way. These are well-tested Nigerians who have been in the business of growing their own sectors. They have made their research over the years. They believe in Nigeria, so they decided to start something. Like some of us who have been too far away from home but decided to come back because we believe in home. Our fourth panelist is going to be the amiable Shoaib, Dr. Shoaib. Shoaiba. The name is very interesting. She's Shoaiba Shehu Ibrahim. She's a lecturer and a well-tested and confirmed entrepreneur. You're welcome, please. Make your way. At this point, I'd like to take a seat beside them. And our discussion is going to center around understanding how youth development and entrepreneur will improve the human capital of Nigeria. If you have been a faithful Nigerian like myself, you will know that I believe in Nigeria. And I know that the entrepreneurs and the youth of Nigeria are people you can't underestimate them. Either single-handedly or collectively with their families, they have made an impact on the economy. So right now, we want to see how this set of people have been impacting their environment and what they will do with the manifesto of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, our faithful principal. I will be asking a few questions, and I will have my panelists. All of them will react or respond to the question before we move on to the next question. So I will ask the first question and have Dr. Shoaiba. Thank you. Dr. Shoaiba, do you have your mic? Do you not right now? Okay. I would like to take you on this first. I know you are a lecturer, a businesswoman, or an entrepreneur. You have provided employment for a group of people. You have been in the business line for some time. The manifesto is premised on a new hope. What practical steps can trigger it to reality by the sector of the society that you work? It's either the society that you work as a lecturer or in your business enterprise. I want to know how you want to trigger people into action with in relation to the manifesto.
Okay, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. For me, because we're speaking about youth empowerment and entrepreneurship, and we know that out of the 218.5 million Nigerians, there's 125 million youths that form a chunk of the voters in Nigeria. So for the renewed hope to become a reality, the most practical step, the first step, is to ensure that we vote in the government that is bringing on board the renewed hope. It is only after that that we can hold the government accountable and see how we can contribute to bring the renewed hope to reality. So for me, going to vote is the first step. And we have been encouraging our youth, our women, everybody, go out, get your cards, vote, so that is the only way we can begin to talk about the renewed hope.
Thank you so very much. A round of applause for that. Before the second response, I'd like to bring to your knowledge that there are about 130 million young Nigerians between ages 15 and 35. These people are a vast army of energetic, able-bodied, willing people who can change the destiny of this country, and they can do that in a very fast succession. Why? The energy to perform rests in their hands. At least before you got into your 40s, 50s, you can explain the depth or the quantum of energy you can exude at the same time. And army, this vast army we are talking about are among the people who are going to decide what will happen during this forthcoming election. So I would like Dr. Clement Otu, because you have started something called Valuepreneur. It means you have been working with young people. Absolutely. I would like to have your response in view of the first question we asked.
Thank you so very much. Dr. Clement is my name. The vision of Valuepreneurs is basically to train young people to become persons of value. In Valuepreneurs, we let young people understand that money is a byproduct of value. And we define money as a tool given in exchange for services rendered. That any young man that is not rendering a service or selling a product has no right to make money. Because all over the world, universally, if you want to become a millionaire today, one of the easiest ways to becoming a millionaire is to become a service provider or a salesperson. Which is why in New York Best Times, you always hear New York bestseller. New York bestseller. All over in America, you discover that all these persons are bestsellers. So in Valuepreneurs, we empower young people with technology solutions with core mandates for them to understand that money should not become their topmost priority because it's just a tool given for services rendered. So one of the reasons why we fell in love with our principal is because, like we in Lagos, he created first for us the ecosystem. Because without the ecosystem, and not in Africa. So the first thing he did was to create an enabling environment, an ecosystem for us to thrive, which is why you're discovering today that young persons are making waves in the ecosystem, not just in Lagos, but also in Silicon Valley in America. You heard the news that Paystack was bought over by a company called Stripe in America. That was made possible because Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu created the environment for the young boys from Ibadan to take a new habitat in Lagos to build a solution that the world is celebrating. So the essence of our support and contributions for the campaign team can never be overemphasized. So this vision is divine, and we hope with the value being created on the platform, a lot of you to take advantage and leverage on the potentials of supporting this mandate. So thank you so very much.
Thank you so very much. Can you give him a round of applause? I would like to reiterate something he said, that they are making young people understand that money is not an end, it's a tool. And you need to get the tool via providing certain services. In other words, that you have got some money to buy a car you have tinted doesn't make you the in thing as a young man. You need to add value, valuepreneur. In other words, he's putting value on young people. That's just to tell you there are so many Nigerians out there. These are just a few people we did a random sampling on, and we are bringing in the finest Nigerians on board to let you know that Nigerians still have people that can make an impact in the forthcoming election or in the forthcoming government. So thank you so much for that. We want to encourage you once more to keep putting stoking the fire under your valuepreneur, because that is where the quantum of election is going to come from. We have over 39.65 youths in Nigeria, and that is the largest registered voters in our country today. Thank you so much for that. I would like to move on to the next panelist. Can we have Alhaji Sani Umar Mashal respond to the question, please?
Thank you for having me. Like you said, for me, I'm from the industrial sector, and I would like to put more emphasis on the current development and the policies by the government, especially the social investment programs, which happens to be one of the beneficiaries. In the year 2015, precisely, I used to have about 7 staff that started in the biscuit business. We took advantage of the government policy for the school feeding program, whereby we've been awarded a contract for the production of high energy biscuit. And from there, we were able to grow the company to the work of over 480 workers at the moment. So we believe these are the stories that we need to have. And one of the things that you should understand is we move into that sector simply because 98 of the biscuit produced in Nigeria is being produced by foreigners. And Nigeria became a dumping ground for most of the fast-moving consumer goods. And we believe if given opportunities, there are a lot of Nigerians that are willing to fill in the gaps that was created and the shortage of raw materials which we used to experience by making them to go into farming and creating an enable environment such as creating warehouses, giving out soft loans to beneficiaries. If you look at it, it's only in Nigeria whereby we used to get our loan at around 27%, which is never friendly for any business environment, while our competitors in China get their loan as cheap as 3%. So if the government is really serious, the youth empowerment should be something that we should consider and bring out a policy that will sustain the current growth of our population. If you look at it, every year we used to have population growth of 5 million children in a year. That is the size of a country like Gambia and half the population of Sierra Leone. So creating an enabling environment will make the governance to be suitable. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for your response, sir. I would like to reiterate what he said. He said more than 80% of the biscuits you eat, some of them though produced in Nigeria, are not produced by Nigerians. It's a very painful fact. And I'm so proud of you, sir, that you are in this trade, and I know you are raising other people whom you have employed, because by nature of being employed somewhere, it becomes one of the first skills you pick after some years. It becomes one of those things you want to do after some years. So I believe you are going to turn out a couple of manufacturers from your outfits as time goes on. At this point, I would like to draw your attention to the manifesto of our principal, Asiwaju. In his manifesto, we have a section where women are encouraged to come forward, to do business, to come forward into politics, to become known and attached to one of the political parties or the other. They have joined the world to encourage female gender to come forward and to grow and to become known. In the manifesto, they also have the social programs that look into issues of people who are secluded or who are amongst the poorest people in Nigeria. They are looking into it already with this administration, and I know continuity should be the language we should be speaking. The manifesto also have sections where youth are looked into. Like he said, like the Valuepreneur enterprise CEO spoke, he said something about Asiwaju supporting them in Lagos, making sure that they get the things they need to have to continue to encourage young people to participate in the value chain and grow the economy and grow themselves. The second question we should be looking at is this. The Renewed Hope Manifesto is premised on practical, actionable methodology to transform enthusiastic entrepreneurs and youth of the era of new hope. Relate to this manifesto, relate to it to the expectation of the average Nigerian. What do you think the average Nigerian sees this manifesto to be? I will still want to start with you, Ma. What do you think the average Nigerian sees from this manifesto?
Thank you very much. The manifesto of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, as relates to youth empowerment, I'm still sticking to youth empowerment and entrepreneurship because I'm very passionate about seeing our youth becoming employers of labor rather than seeking employment, because we have a very large population of the youth unemployed and unemployable. They are unemployed because the jobs are not available. The government cannot employ everybody. And unemployable because they don't even have the required skills to be employed. An employer has to train even after giving employment, consumed with paper qualification, BSc this, PhD this, and our youths, our graduates are unable to solve practical problems in our society. That is something that needs to change. And part of the Renewed Hope agenda for the youth is having skill acquisition and business incubation platforms, giving the youth platforms to harness, to teach them skills that can be useful and give them income so they can be self-employed rather than seeking employment. And also provide avenues for them to be able to have their patent and intellectual rights protected, etc. And another important thing is easy access to credit. We have a lot of bright minds with bright ideas, but they do not have or they do not know how they can access funds in order to start their businesses. So commercial banks, as part of the Renewed Hope agenda, commercial banks will be encouraged to make their loan application processes simplified and also give priority to young people and women with marketable ideas. Then another practicable action by the Renewed Hope towards entrepreneurship and youth empowerment is providing mentorship. The government will seek the cooperation of entrepreneurs, private and private businesses, so they can mentor the younger ones, teach them, take them under their tutelage, show them how they can do it, show them that it's possible, so that these children will not be waiting for white-collar jobs. They will be self-employed because they have mentors that they have seen, they have done it, so they too will know that they can be able to do it, and they have shown them the way. Then another, apart from mentorship and easy access to credit, there's also NYSC, our National Youth Core Program. The Renewed Hope agenda, the government will reform this NYSC so that most of these youth corpers are taken into the private sector so they can learn from different sectors of the economy. And then this private sector, private business owners will be given some incentives so that they can employ these youth in their companies even after the youth service. So I believe with the renewed hope, if we vote them and give them the chance, the economy will become robust, because all these economies that we see, we term as developed, they became developed mostly because of entrepreneurship and good leadership, which is what Renewed Hope is promising. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Doctor. This an aside. In Price, what are you doing before now? Because you have belief as an entrepreneur that you can make an impact. What have you been doing, Doctor?
Okay, first of all, lecturing to teach has been my passion, and I'm happy doing it. Then I have my own business. It's a fashion design business. So my students see from me, they learn from me that I'm not only working and earning a salary, but I'm also doing fashion, because it's also a passion that I have. So I have a fashion business that I run. It's a small scale, because I don't have the time that I would love to. It's a small scale. I have like about 15 employees and that are permanently with me, and about 15 others that are not permanently. When we need their services, they come to us. So this is also showing my students, like I'm a role model to them now, that aside teaching, I'm also doing something to earn extra income and also give other people platform to earn income, to unlearn skills that they can use to earn their own income too. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Doctor. A round of applause for that. Because she believes that she can make an impact. So she began to do so before now. She's not starting today. But if you have not started, it's not too late. Start something. I would like our second panelist, Dr. Clement, to please respond to the second question. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so very much. Now, there's one key thing that mentorship does to young people in Nigeria, not just on our platform. Like we define, mentorship gives you the psychological advantage to succeed in life. Mentorship gives you the psychological advantage to succeed in life. NCC just reported that we have over 151 million active internet users in Nigeria right now. And a percentage of young persons in that 151 million is over 96%. That's to tell us that outside having an enabling environment, the young persons in Nigeria are actually the hope of our country. Now, in having renewed hope, you must understand that before now there must be hope first, before you're having renewed hope. It's like every year we have resolutions, and every new year we have renewed resolutions. So we believe the renewed hope is giving life to the hope that we had before now. And based on that, we want to say this. One of the key things BAT has done, I always refer Lagos, because Lagos is the hub, the gateway for Africa now. Now there's a tech Afri-hub being created in the Bejuleki that is like the Silicon Valley of US, or that is like the Hollywood of United States of America. Now Afri-hub is a platform where young persons from all over the world will be trained zero barrier free, zero startup barrier free, and zero prerequisites in becoming a student or whatever of that platform, and also jobs will be created home and abroad. So we believe that one of the first things that the Renewed Hope has done for people like us is to let us understand that data is life, and data will be made available for Nigerian youth. Secondly, one key thing we need to survive as business owners is not just data, but also power. We need power to run our production equipment and every other thing. So we believe that the Renewed Hope will guarantee us power to run our various businesses. And also we believe that the Renewed Hope will give us the right network of partners to open up doors of opportunities. Because no matter who you are, your network guarantees your absolute net worth in life. The people you circle yourself with will guarantee whatever you become in life. So we believe that the Renewed Hope will give us an opportunity to meet network of persons that will open up that door for us of opportunity. So we also believe that with renewed hope, it will be for young persons in Nigeria, them living in the right platform. If you take a fish out of water, that fish will be struggling to survive. So we believe that with the renewed hope, Nigerian youth will be in the right state of habitat, having the right tool, the right equipment, the right mentorship, the right empowerment, and the right support. So we are 100% behind renewed hope, and we believe that it will change the dynamics of Nigerians and Nigerian youth generally. So thank you so very much.
A round of applause. Thank you so much. Yes, the gospel of the renewed hope has so far made significant gains all across Nigeria. Let's listen to the third panelist, Alhaji Marshal.
Thank you. One of the things that we would like to put more emphasis is issue of industrialization. When you look at it now, most of the young graduates are only concerned about the white-collar job. Well, it's for you to grow an economy, you need to industrialize the nation. If you look at it now, you can see that if you go to Lagos now, you can see that they hardly get a space. Even when Dangote wants to establish his refinery, he has to sand fill the lagoon for him to get that space of land. So if we have been able to go into industrialization, most of the problems that is facing this country can be solved. Thank you so much.
Round of applause for him, please. The gospel has gone far. The hope is not a hopeless hope. It is renewed. Yes, Nigerians are very hopeful, but this time we want the hope renewed so that everyone will be involved, and that's why we're going to ask one of the most practical questions that should make a change in the minds of every listener. The third question we're going to look at is, what is the most logical action we should collectively take in view of the manifesto to have massive impact? To my doctor, I will try to pronounce your name again, I'm sorry. Shoibat, Dr. Shoibat. Please, what is the most practical action that you think should happen?
Thank you. It's Swaiba. Okay. For me, in a democracy, government is it's supposed to be for the people, by the people. So if we elect a government into office, it's not for us to sit back and just criticize. We have to do our own bit in our own little corner. Each and every one of us, in our own little corner, we have to do our own bit to see that, be the change that you want to see happen, be the change that you want to see in others. It's not enough to sit back and just criticize the government. It's not doing enough, it's not doing. We have to start in our own little corner, however little you can, start those things that you want to see in the society. Still going back to the youth, I'm still going back to the youth, and then entrepreneurship. Are you a mother? Are you a sister? Are you a lecturer? Are you a mentor? We have to disabuse the minds of our youth about this white-collar job and paper qualification. I am a teacher. That is why I'm very passionate about this. We have a teeming population of youth, and this is an army that we can utilize to propel our economy to greater heights. Otherwise, this same army can be used to devastate the economy. We know what is happening with insecurity. These are youth. They are very energetic. They are able. So if we give them the right platform and we change the mindset that, okay, it's not the duty of the government to employ everybody. Go for skills. Don't look down on jobs. You know, is it being a mechanic? Is it being... Teach them that. With that, you can become somebody. With that, you can earn your legitimate income. It's not about becoming a millionaire overnight. So we have to change our mindset as a people. That is most important. We have to disabuse their minds, let them know that entrepreneurship is the way to go, is the way forward. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Please, can we have Dr. Clement respond to the third question.
Yeah, thank you so very much. Now, what we've done, monthly, 400 youths are being trained on our platform. And basically what we do there, as we said, we create solutions, to support their business. Now, if you're into business, and before now, maybe what you normally do is to print 10,000 flyers to share to people in your street or locality, to promote your business. You have 2 billion persons on Facebook. So what we do is that we open young minds to the business solutions of the internet. That instead of spending 60,000 naira to print 10,000 flyers in UTC in Abuja, you can actually use 10,000 naira to reach maybe 100,000 clients on Facebook. So it's easier now for every young man to thrive, which is why all we need from our government and from ABAD is just give us the ecosystem. We have platforms in partnership with HP where laptops are given to young persons for free. And today, through what we are doing today, 10 laptops will be given to them for free. So with laptops from HP, data from MTN or Glo, every young individual in Nigeria has no reason to fail. Like we tell them, you have 5 years to become whatever you want to become, in whatever training you want to achieve. So we ensure that every young mind is not rushed into wealth creation. Because definitely they must understand that failure is part of success. So in part of their quest to acquire this knowledge, to acquire technical skill, they will be tried practically in the field of business. Because business is not like home economics or like farming. In business, some certain factors are also involved. You'll meet some certain challenges. So, which is why mentorship is key to ensure that every young mind that these tools and mentorship are given, they are being guided for a particular certain period until they become independent. Like I said earlier, if you take a fish from its natural habitat, such fish will begin to struggle to survive. So with an enabling environment for a young man to thrive, it means the young man doesn't just have the tools or the solutions, he has the right mentorship. So what we have done and will continue to do, and with the renewed hope, is that we are going to continue to create that mentorship for these young minds, for them to understand that the tools are readily available. The data is available from MTN and Glo. Tools are available from HP and Dell in Lagos. All they need to do is to make themselves available for training. So we are open to ensure that young persons in Nigeria begin to, create a blueprint for themselves, becoming their own CEOs. We have lots of success stories, beloved. There are Nigerians that we've trained. They're in Canada, they're in US, they're in UK, doing amazing things with digital solutions. Like now, we can pick a young person, no matter who the person is, whether you're an Almajiri in the north or an Okon in the south. You don't need to have any technical skills whatsoever. You don't need to have any knowledge about coding PHP or Laravel or coding Igniter, Node.js, or whatever programming language. We can turn that child within 72 hours to build their very first website without coding. So these are the solutions Bola Ahmed Tinubu has provided for us in Lagos, that we can now become persons of value by creating value for other young persons. So for young persons that are here, there are 0 barriers to you becoming whatever you want to become the next 90 days or the next 1 year. So remove the limitations from your mindset. Remove the barriers you've been thinking. Remove the prerequisite. We don't need your degree, your certificate whatsoever. By the way, Google will interview you without your BSc or your master's degree. So you don't need your certificate. And by the way, so Amazon is in Nigeria, and they've taken off a lot of tech people from our banks. So the reason why we are having network issues in the bank, for bank owners here, you know the truth. It is because your tech boys have been taken away from you. Because Amazon came into Nigeria, promised them times 15 of their salary, and they are in Finland today for training. So which is why we say it's not your certificate. It's not your BSc, nor your master's degree. We are not saying don't go to school. Best go to school. But today, acquire the right technological skill to create the right advancement for your destiny. So we are supporting this renewed hope 100% because we believe that the right ecosystem can only be given by Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So thank you so very much.
A round of applause for that beautiful input. He has touched a very sensitive aspect of the fourth revolution. That is the digital economies. The next session will be looking into that. While we wait for the next session to do justice to that topic, we are going to listen to Alhaji Mashal. What is the most practical actionable response to take at the moment, going forward, to see that there is a change, to follow the renewed hope?
For me, when you look at Nigeria as a whole, you can see that there are over 774 local governments in Nigeria, and each of the local government has what it takes to stand on its own. So I believe if we can be able to harness the resources there and giving our opportunity to our teaming youth, they will facilitate a good opportunity for them. Thank you.
With that, we have exhausted responses to the questions that we have asked. And at this point, I want to let you know, considering the occupational demography, that's the key, that holds the key to the forthcoming election, digital literacy or digital economy is unavoidably the next step to take. I would like to thank all our panelists at this point, and to say a big thank you for making it all the way from Lagos, Abuja, Kano to make this August meeting. And our doctor here came all the way from Kaduna. She is such an encouraging woman. I really, really have drawn so much courage from you. Indeed, when I grow up, I want to be like you. So at this point, I would like to say thank you, and you may join the house.
Group photograph for the first panelists. These first panelists, you now find too much. British English, Oxford, Cambridge, Lincoln. No University of Abuja, but Unsuka and ABU, you know, they are competing with the global universities. Round of applause for them, please. You see, when I was rearing cattle in the bush, they told me to come and attend nomadic class. I refused to. If I had gotten my primary school certificate now, maybe I would have been a panelist, you know, discussing with these people. Another round of applause for them. You are wonderful Nigerians. Nigeria is rich. If Asiwaju Ahmed Bola Tinubu Jagaban Borgu, let me tell you one thing. Every day they call Jagaban Borgu. People just pronounce it. Who can tell me where Jagaban Borgu comes from? If you tell me 1,000 from this roll, among you there, Jagaban Borgu, where is Borgu situated among you there? Nobody. Let me give you the easy answer. Borgu comprises of Kainji, where you have the largest jam in Africa, to Kayama in Kwara State, and it extends up to border between Chikanda and Benin Republic. Round of applause for that. So this wonderful man, a Yoruba man from Lagos, was recognized by the late Emir of Borgu, himself a second and third Republic Senator, Ali Rudan Toro, because they were all contemporaries in the upper chamber in second and third Republic, and in appreciation of the leadership quality of Asiwaju, he gave him Jagaban Borgu. Round of applause for us from that Borgu area and from that Borgu area. Yes, without taking much of your time, you all had all how the qualities of industrialization was extrailed. My own question now is this, review of the question. And I will take particularly from Alhaji Umar Sani Marshall on industries. How can they be put into practical realities? Who will do what to trigger the massive industrialization growth of this renewed hope? Of course, you don't need any answer. Before Asiwaju Ahmed Bola Tinubu came into office in 1999, his predecessor, then Colonel Muhammadu Buba Marwa, who is today NDLA chairman, asked him when he was setting up transition committee to hand over from military administration to civilian administration, how do you intend to achieve all this, your program, your blueprint? Asiwaju said in Yoruba, Sha Gbekpo for me. Do you know what it means? Just undo the mantle to me, and you will see. And in 2000, my former boss, Second Republic Governor of Lagos, Lateef Jakande, called me from Abuja to fly by Chachangi, which is no longer flying, to come to Lagos and accompany him to the handing over ceremony from military administration of Colonel Buba Marwa to Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. When we were there, in conclusion of Marwa's speech, he said, I hope my predecessor will not go borrowing money. And you know, Dr. Nira, Lagos is not new to you. When did you go to Lagos, sir? You've been visiting Bar Beach near NTA headquarters, Amadu Bello Way. This is the Bar Beach. This is that small police station before you go to IMB building. If you go there today, from where we used to stand by the front of Sun and take that kwakwa with what have you, we entered there, drove and got mixed up. The infrastructure there, the toll was there. Round of applause, please. So the answer is that if an Asiwaju Ahmed Bola Tinubu in Lagos State can industrialize through sand filling of Itato, Bar Beach, Kuramo Beach and others, it means industrialization of Nigeria is like arithmetical dimension in primary school. Round of applause. You see, for some of you that watches my analysis on Liberty, Kaftan TV, Trust TV, Plus TV, Nation TV and other TV stations, they call me blunt analyst. Once you invite Salih Udantata Mahmoud, if it is time to give credit to Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, politics without department bitterness, I will do that. If it is time to give to anybody, I give. Today, I am saying this as somebody who has been an editor with Jack and Day's daily newspaper in Acme Road, Ogba, that for the first 4 years of Jagaban, I covered most of this industrialization process. So I'm not talking as an empty drum. Today, if I enter Lagos from Oshodi, Isale, to Shogunle, Ijakini, Oronshoki, Idi Araba, Ijaniki, Aja, Lekki phase 1, phase 2, Ikoyi, Falomo, Saka, Tinubu, Adeola Odeko, all in Victoria Island, Oniru, that extends to Agbara Industrial Estate, that goes to Okokomaiko, including Mile 12, Mile 2, Alabarago, Alaba Industrial, Mile 2, Festac Town, and even, let me tell you the list of it, Ibejuleki, all have been there. Round of applause for him. So I think the answer is there, that when you vote the right candidate, you are going to have industries, instead of you going to Civil Service Commission, collecting form, head of service, giving you allocation level 8 that you take 50,000 in NTA, 50,000 in Ministry of Trade and Investment, Interior, Power. You can get work in industries that will be brought in this country, which I know. Round of applause for Jagaban Borgu. On this note, I'd like to invite the moderator for the second panel discussion in person of Malam Ibrahim Mujtaba. Malam Ibrahim Mujtaba, can I have you here? You are the moderator for the topic, Understanding the Digital Economic Component Through Sight and Sound of Renewed Hope. A round of applause for him. It's not easy to be an intellectual. Thank you very much. Combatant and gallant Ibrahim. I like your suit. Thank you.
Once again, thank you very much, comrade, and thank you very much, everybody.
I'm very sorry I will have been arrested by special forces of the police. While the first panelists were on their discussion, we had the entrance of the representative of the Minister of State for Works and Housing, Federal Republic of Nigeria, ably represented by his amiable personal assistant, in person of Alhaji Sani Bala. You are welcome, sir. He's also going to be one of our panelists in the second discussion. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Mujtaba, for understanding.
Okay, I would like to give a little preview before I go ahead and invite this, I can't say, like when you're going to a football match, you want your Messi and Ronaldo. So when you're talking about digital economy, some of the very distinguished personalities that will join me in this panelist discussion have really caught their teeth well in the area of information technology. Not just cutting the teeth, but contributed immensely towards the growth of that sector and multiplier effect in other sectors. Well, we are all aware that we're in the 21st century. where digital tools have disrupted everything that we know it, be it the way we work, live, and learn has been quietly disrupted. But perhaps in this part of the world, we might not really understood that because of some information gap in respect to understanding how technology can trigger growth and contribute to the various activities that we are individually or collectively doing. Currently, from a government perspective, we are implementing an NDEPS, National Digital Economic Policy and Strategy. But for today, we're not really going to be keen on that, even though we can't turn a blind eye on that because it's an ongoing process. So that means something is ongoing. But for today, we're just going to look at digital economy, how we can understand the practical realities that can help trigger growth among our enthusiastic young Nigerians, because they constitute 70% of our population. So the opportunities, even though the challenges are enormous, the opportunities are really, really much. So I would like to invite a digital evangelist in the person of Dr. Niron Oyekali. Dr. Niron Oyekali has spent the last 11 years in propagating digital literacy in Africa. He has been all over the civil service space, the business space, as well as the development space. He recently got more interested in development space. Perhaps he finds out that that will have more meaningful impact, because at one hand, you are working with a development partner, and on the other hand, you're working with both development partners as well as government. So thank you very much for joining us, Dr. Niron. Next, I will also like to invite another IT powerhouse. Even though he likes to be observe humility, doesn't want me to reel all. So I would like to welcome Ambassador Segun Olukbele to join us in the panelist discussion. Ambassador Segun is the convener Restore Nigeria Group. He's passionate on using the intellectual ability to trigger growth and development within our community and beyond. So thank you, Ambassador. Next, I would like to invite Ismail Umar. Ismail Umar is an SAICT to Kogi State Governor. I would like to tag Ismail Umar as the person that works behind the scene. He doesn't really want his face to be seen, but just going from one place to the other to see how he can impact his domain as well as his own state and community. Anything that has to do with IT progress, you see him, he's a go-getter on that. Effortlessly, sometimes without even being taxed to. He takes that upon himself to go out there, relate with like minds, and come up with strategies that can better the communities and that can help our teeming young population. So, Ismail Omar, thank you for joining us. Next, I would like to invite Engineer Ahmed Rufai. Timasi. This is save the best for the last. Engineer Rufai is the former MD, Nightcom SAT. And that's part of the critical enablers if you're talking about IT, infrastructure. So today he's going to be talking more on opportunities in that particular area. I would like to start with Dr. Niron Oyekali. Dr. Niron, very good. Digital economy is an opportunity that can trigger growth, not just in the society, but also in the whole of the country as well. Can you relate in the foundational level what that IT enthusiast needs to do as a unicorn?
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for the question, the moderator. I want to take a cue from what Dr. Sweba related to us in the course of discussion at the first panel, that apart from being a lecturer, that she still practices as a fashion designer. And I want to remind us, or to ask us, how it will be possible for you to buy a piece of cloth and you give it to Dr. Sweba, and you go back at an appointed time and collect what? Right? What I'm trying to say is this. As a fashion designer, what is the first thing that a fashion designer will do when you give out your cloth? The very first thing is a measurement must be taken, right? Then you are expectant of what? Of having something sewn to fit to your taste. One area that we have been found wanting in Nigeria as a country, and a problem that must be solved or arrested before we can have a smooth ride or journey into the digital economy world, is to first of all establish where we are. We need to establish the digital literacy proficiency. That is the key, the very first thing that we need to do in our attempt to build capacity to take the advantage that digital economy has to offer. That is number one. And the current administration has done a lot in that direction.
Right.
We now have a document called the National Digital Literacy Framework, which was an offshoot of the NDEP that the moderator actually mentioned in the course of introducing this, this panel discussion. So that is the very first thing. And we have not been doing that. So at the foundational level, trying to correct the wrongs of the past is to submit ourselves to that baseline assessment. And that, I believe, is what is happening at the back of this all. That is number one. Number two is this, that we have our teeming youth. We have about 70% of our population as this youth. Then you look at our school system. In the course of the first discussion, somebody said that 400 youths are trained on their platform every month. And how effective has been this training? That is something that I think I'm worried about, right? Because when you conduct a training today, there are certain things you need to integrate into that training so that you give that beneficiary a soft landing to opportunities anywhere in the world. And that is digital literacy. Yes, everybody is talking about it. But do we get our people certified in the course of this training? The answer is no. And that is very, very, very important. I want to take you on that after this discussion, because we need now to do things better. What exactly do we need? One, an individual needs to be digitally literate. Number one, you must be able to speak the language of 21st century. You must be able to compete favorably, not with Nigerians. I am from Ogbomoso. The competition is not between myself and Dr. Ode, right? But the competition is between Nigerians and the rest of the world. How are we ensuring that we're able to speak the language of this century? English, French, Spanish, Arabic, everything. They've gone with 20th century. So we need to first of all. Then secondly, there's something we call the forces: communication, collaboration, creativity, and critical thinking. If you want to live and sojourn or journey through 21st century without these forces, then we are all joking. Number three is the entrepreneurship and small business management. People's lives feeds in opportunities, but they don't actually recognize this opportunity. There is need for us to put our Nigerians, the youth, through this. Let them be able to recognize opportunity. How are they going to start business? How are they going to conduct their marketing and sales in a way that we conform or they comply with the rest of the world? Opportunities all over everywhere. We need to act fast, and that is why we believe in this renewed hope of a thing. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Niran, for that foundational intervention. The key takeaway here is digital literacy. That's the basic. Before you start anything digital, before you start the journey, you need to be digitally literate. In Europe, they call them digital citizens. They have a particular framework for that. Leave the panelists to do more. Next, I would like to go to Ambassador Shegun. Ambassador Shegun, I want you to relate the digital economy component of the Renewed Hope Manifesto to the platforms and capabilities that can trigger this plethora of young, enthusiast Nigerians to help themselves move away from all the challenges of unemployment that's facing them on the narrative in an era of new hope.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Moderator, and thank you for inviting me. Please permit me to recognize Engineer Ahmed again. Nice to meet you, sir. This should be about 16 years after we have met. I will start from there. I remember 2008 when we started the cybersecurity strategic policy. People thought we are coming from the moon. Now, nobody thought about COVID. And I also remember Engineer Amel was part of that first international conference that we held in Luxury Hotel. Now, responding to what you are saying, Nigeria as a nation, we are blessed with youth population. And by my own profession, I'm into cybersecurity, and I advance issue and capacity on emerging technology. But one thing that we have discovered, Nigeria has a youth population that is huge. Nigeria also have youth population, educated, unemployed youth. Like I said, please, I want us to underline it. Educated, unemployed youth. And if these youth are not appropriated within the context of what is going on now, we might find ourselves building militants that could platform against the establishment. Now, what we have seen is that the manifestos of the Tinubu campaign team and all that. Sorry, I'm not a politician, I'm a policy advisor. But there's something that we have seen capacity. Capacity is not something that you can buy in the market. And there's also an ideology that says that someone has capacity, and capacity can either be built or it can be inbuilt. Now, we have youth that are very vibrant. Someone made mention of Industry 4.0. We're talking about connected city, internet of mind. We're talking about engaging ourselves without seeing ourselves. We're transacting money. We're doing everything. It has started. I'm sure some of us heard about e-Naira. We are moving toward e-Naira platform. And let me tell you, what is happening now is not really meant for most of us here. They are meant for our children. They are meant for the youth. And I can tell you, they are far more ahead than what we are doing here today. Now, but if we intersect it with what we have seen in the manifestos and what the Tinubu himself has done in the past in Lagos State, I think we begin to have a kind of confidence that if we could have such a leader who can harness enormous capacity of our youth, who can also use our youth to build a formidable platform. You see, what inspires Restore Nigeria is that you can't really do any economy programs until the fundamentals of the economies are restored. Nigeria were blessed in the past, but what has happened? But what we have seen the effort of the current administrations building infrastructures and ensuring that these fundamentals are rebuilt. But however, when you look at the manifestos of Tinubu, we have seen is the effort, a kind of commitment that speaks to not only to build on what is being done, but also to harness what is being done to transform the system or the nation into the next level. And that's next level, I can tell you, is the digitalization of the entire society in Nigeria. We are no longer talking about digital economy. We are talking about digital society. We are talking about digital human being, digital family. You are talking about digital daddy and digital mommy. So now, when you look at that and you switch it with what is coming on, I can tell you that if we consider what he has done in the past and what he's doing now, especially in being able to build capacity and to build and bring people together to harness that, I think the youth will have enormous opportunity to achieve what they really want to achieve. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Talking about opportunity, I would like to throw my next question to the SE here, the government people. SE, can you relate to us some of the things that you're doing in Kogi State that has to do with young entrepreneurs that have interest in IT, and to charter an intentional, approachable, and impactful intervention?
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening. I'm glad to be here. My co-panelists, I want to especially recognize my brothers and leaders who are sitting with me as a panelist. Engineer is my elder brother. Doctor is my bosom brother and friend. And ambassador is my daddy. Yes, so I'm in a family panelist. So first and foremost, I want to recognize the personal assistant to the Minister of State for Works and Housing here present. It's nice to have you. You know, we government people have to respect protocol. It's very important. I'm so happy to be here today. And the topic is digital economy. I will start this way before I respond to the question you asked me. If you look at the high point of the first panelists on youth and women, empowerment and entrepreneurship, Dr. Clement was speaking as if he's supposed to be in this panel. What was he talking about? The high point was tech. That brings me to the statement of Bill Gates, the #1 digital person we know in this world, that if your business is not in the internet, then your business will be out of business. So that means whatever we are doing, we should have it at the back of our mind that technology is the today and the tomorrow. Secondly, Ambassador just said something about e-naira. People are running helter-skelter to meet 31st of January. Somebody just called me on my way here now, looking, I want to buy something. I have old money. Nobody wants to collect it. So that is telling us that what is coming ahead, we need to prepare for that. And what do we need to prepare for that? Is the infrastructure, the skill, and the enabling environment. So I'm going to speak from that point of view now as a political office holder. One thing is key for us to achieve all we're doing here, with specific reference to our renewed hope manifesto. Political will. Having made all this noise, all this effort, if there's no political will, we cannot achieve it. And we all know the person we are bringing, the Jagaban, that he's a driver. The real meaning of Jagaban is somebody who leads from the front, who drives from the front. So the policy of government and the political will to drive that policy is key. So in Kogi State, with specific reference, Kogi State, when our government of His Excellency Alhaji Abelo came in, we made sure that we know very well that the driver of any economy is entrepreneurship development. We established the Kogi State Entrepreneurship Development Agency, which the MD should have been here, but due to political exigencies, she was unable to make it. She was supposed to be in the first panel. What are we trying to do here? Is to change the mindset, as Dr. Sueba said, of our people, that you don't have to depend on government. It's very practical that government cannot employ everybody. It's not possible. If you are waiting for that, you wait forever. It's not possible. So we've been able to do that, putting IT as a core of it, supported by the international development agencies like the World Bank, the KRS program. IT capacity building was driven by that agency. And today, as I'm talking to you now, the reason why she could not be here is that such programs have held her down, that she wanted to join online, but we could not make it. So that is the first thing we looked at. The second thing we looked at, and also to copy from Lagos, with reference to Kogi State, Lagos is a reference point. What has Jagaban done in Lagos to move 600 million naira IGR to over 50 billion now? Is technology. But that technology actually then was an imported technology from Oracle. What we want now is to have our own local content. That is the Afri-Tech you are talking about. That is the e-naira. We must all use our policy of government to support. So that alone, we will not do, what do you call it? Transferring our money to the economy of Africa. We put it here.
Right.
So Kogi, well, I want to round it up with something. Kogi State very recently want to copy that from Lagos. We just signed an MOU with Hytera, Nigeria, to come up with Kogi State Smart City. So that in a smart city, in a smart society, every other digitization will fall in perfectly. So that agreement has been signed. We are doing that with specific reference in the agreement that except where there is no expertise in Nigeria locally, we will not allow you to bring in expertise from outside. So we have to develop our capacity so that we can change our economy to the best as a state and by extent as a country.
Thank you
very much.
Smart city, smart system, and smart society. It cannot work without the need for infrastructure. And talking about infrastructure, I would like to channel my attention to Engineer Ahmed Rufai, who is an infrastructure man. So we would like you to use in your own terms, in all the years of your experience, on how we can redouble our effort to not just achieve 90% of broadband penetration by 2025, but create an enabler of Nigerians to be able to do that even beyond Nigeria and beyond Africa. What can we do differently?
Yeah, thank you very much, and my greetings to my senior colleagues here. Talking about infrastructure, you look at it from two perspectives. You have the soft aspect of the infrastructure. You also have the physical infrastructure. From the soft skills, the Renewed Hope Manifesto promises to produce millions of IT literate Nigerian youths within few years of Jagaban's administration. And like Dr. Clement has said, it is very easy to train young men, first of all, as coders. You can achieve this within a week because it's just arithmetic. Coding, if somebody understands 1 plus 1 is equal to 2, and 2 plus 2 is equal to 4, then 4 plus 4 is 8, 16, then 32 bits, which is what? 16 plus 16 is 32 bits, 64, 128, 256, 5112, like that. Automatically, you are building coders. And thereafter, they turn it into alphanumeric. So you can write anything, they turn it, into a code that the computer can understand. I can tell you that once you start from this level, you can train millions of Nigerians within weeks, within a month, to become good coders. From coding, you go into programming. And from programming, you go into application development. In such a way and manner that with the government support, creating an IT hub or smart cities like my colleagues have mentioned, where all the infrastructures are available, Nigerians can be here and be working for Microsoft, be working for Apple of this world, or even develop their own program. Like when Dr. Neron is talking about fashion, the fashion industry, I've had experiences of my own wives, looking at what design to give to their tailor. And as I sat down here, immediately it occurred to me that this can be turned into an application, whereby if the tailor just gets your dimensions, they just fit it in, and 100 designs, 100 styles will appear. So it makes it easy for you to just say, okay, this is what I want. So there are so many opportunities here, and the first thing is training. Here the government has to come in with a leader that is actually saddled with that responsibility to use government money to train. The other issue is to introduce digital education right from schools, primary schools. Let children abroad, they can write codes, computer codes, right at primary school level they have been taught. And Nigerian children are very brilliant, just like their fathers. So we should start teaching at that level up to the university. Now, this is the soft aspect of it. For the infrastructural aspect, which is very fundamental, we are far, far behind. Forget about all this 5G. If I'm to rate the IT space in Nigeria, we are not even yet at 3G, the third generation. Because up to tomorrow, you can hardly complete a call. I have so many videos that I can't even download. Yet I'm using a phone of almost $1 million. You know, so the broadband is not there, and we need it. And it is very difficult for the private sectors because you know it's millions of dollars of investment. So the government has to come in here. And I want to give just an example to always use a case study. If you take India today, India, they hold sway in the IT market. They call it IT and BPM, and the business process management. Now, the revenue that the India government, 2022 revenue for the government of India sector alone, IT and BPM, is $238 billion. Out of this $238 billion, $189 billion was export, and their principal market is United States of America. About $48 billion was their own internal IGR from IT and BPM.
Right.
Now, when you translate this into Naira and Kobo, it is 111 or 110 trillion. Nigerian budget that we are all shouting about, this 2022 budget is less than 20 trillion. So a government is earning 5 times just from IT, one sector alone. Right. 5 times our national budget. And how many people are in this industry in India? 5 million. Just 5 million. So you can imagine if you take 20 million youths or 50 million youths that are educated, unemployed, like my brother has said, educated, unemployed. Some are even educated, unemployable, like my sister, because without skill, you know, you can't be employed, because an employer is looking for skill, you know, for production. So the opportunity that this manifesto will unleash is, first of all, an exponential training of all these youths, and also building on existing infrastructure. When you say enabling environment, it's not just policy. It is also creating the back-end infrastructure. You know, India, yes, we can say this and that, but apart from having skilled, highly skilled IT and software experts, which we do have also in Nigeria, Indian alone has about 58 satellites, 58 in space.
Right.
We only have 1,
right.
And we are tired. So I believe Aswaju himself is a digital person, if you know him very well.
Right.
And he has championed the system automation. You know, he has championed the development of talents and human capital skill.
Right.
So a lot of efforts will be put in this direction, and I think we're going to ramp up development.
Right.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Opportunities, 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 yet being lost, unfortunately. Dr. Niran, can you tell us an IT, like relate to us? One, like give these young people confidence and the career path that they can start with to tap into these readily available opportunities that are all over the place, yet unemployed. We are in an era of renewed hope. So just relate to us, please.
Thank you very much. It may shock so many of us. I don't believe in brain drain. There's nothing like that. Because we are not created as a nation with all the resources of human and materials, and we want to monopolize it. If India can make 189 billion from export of brains, then why should we be lamenting about it? Don't we like good things? Why should our youth be educated, unemployed or unemployable individuals? What have we not done? What do we need to do? This is the time to lay the facts bare so that every one of us, we have to think on how they can contribute to solving the problem facing this great country. And I'm believing seriously, Nigeria will be great. We have folded our hands for so long a time that we have seen the problems coming, and it seems nobody is ready, available to stem or ameliorate the imminent dangers that go beyond what we are experiencing by now. So what do we need to do? One, we have to look at our education system. Our education system is still largely STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, or STEAM. This needs to be urgently moved to STEM D. We must, at all costs, with immediate emergency, let me put it that way, that we need to ensure with this renewed hope that our education is renewed to actually conform to what the education of 21st century is, integrating digital literacy into it. Another point is this. It will still shock you that our graduates from our tertiary institutions are graduating without the skills required for today's jobs. They are not even graduating with the minimum requirement for employment. It's worrisome. And what is it? Digital literacy. And there is need for us, for we trainers, we need to wake up and embrace certification, because our training has been without proof of skill attainment. So even if our people manage to escape to other lands, right, they are there, as second slave, because they are not actually equipped with what they need to compete with others. Right. It is when they get there that they actually look for all this. So with this renewed hope coming, I think focus should be more on education and the integration of digital literacy to education system. Two, that there is need for government to come up with a project in the sense that, yes, the renewed hope has told us that there will be, what do you call it, empowerment of Nigerians, like 5 million per year, 10 million per year. But this training should not go the way it has always gone. Right. We should try and give it a global face, right, whereby Nigerians can actually, face challenges and compete for opportunities that the digital economy has to offer. Thank you very much.
Right. Thank you very much. Still opportunities training. I'd like to relate it this way. One hub, one community. I think that's something that we can charter in this era of renewed hope. But how can we sustain this kind of initiative, even though they are not currently existing? Dr. Shemun.
You give me doctor, I claim it.
Ambassador.
Well, from my own perspective, there is something that we call AIG framework. AIG is an academic, industry, and government framework. And there are three fingers that is very strategic in the sustainability of any programs. Now, the idea behind the One Hub, engineer is something. There are a lot of opportunities. But within the context of IT, let me use software as an example. You see, you cannot control. What you don't have control on, you can't really create values. For example, server. Let me just use the word server. I'm sorry to say that. Server could be either soft server or hardware server. We shouldn't burden ourselves trying to create an operating system. Yes, it's good. We can create it. But content is needed for the operating system to run. Software utilities are needed. Applications are needed. And someone talked about local content. So now, empowering the local content within the framework of industry. The industry provide the skill that are relevant and that can fit into what they need. And the academies provide the research capacity, because there are thousands and millions of research that are just not in tandem with what the industry needs.
Right.
Then the government provide, I will call it creative policies, not just policies. Let me give an example. Cybersecurity policies. Within that cybersecurity strategy framework, you have the need to create industry. And I can tell you, cybersecurity industry alone can employ over 1 million Nigerians within a year.
Right.
I have my reasons, I have my facts. Because let me give you one indicator. Most all the ICT infrastructures, we are always talking about vulnerability of our system, vulnerability of our phone, vulnerability of the who will do it? So that creates opportunity. Then again, sorry, let me just mention this. Your One Hub should also look into how to engender diaspora remittance in terms of skills and knowledge, not just money. Right. Because we focus on remittance of money back home. Right. But I wouldn't discourage people from traveling out, because when you travel out, you get better informed, you are exposed. What your country cannot give you in terms of infrastructural need, you have it there. But how can we engender a policy process that could create an incentive that will attract them to come back? And when they are coming back, they are not coming back to give you money, they are coming back to give you skills they've learned, and they are coming back to give you the knowledge that they have gathered, and that is what China used. Now, I want to see this kind of policy, that when Nigerians send his own citizens to abroad for learning, there should be a process to bring them back to the country. By the time you bring them back and they mix with the locals, then you see that there will be transmission and the fusion of skills and knowledge. So sustainability starts from creating enabling policy from the government side that will engender incentive and that will encourage diaspora remittance, skills and knowledge. Then you need to ginger your industry. Right. Please, you don't have to burden your industry with too much of tasks. Even though you want to do tax reform. But I keep on saying that tax is not really our problem. The existing tax that we have, if we could only expand the net, it would be better than to create additional tax. How do you empower, how do you increase the net? You empower more people. The more you empower more people, the more you create opportunity for business and they pay the same tax. So that is that. Then the industry. It is essential. I can tell you, whether certification, innovation, abroad, whatever, there is no innovation, there is no brain drain, there is nothing that will empower this country. The most important tool that we need most, that will catapult us into where we are going, is, tool. That tool is skills and knowledge. And the only institution that could deepen that could give us that, is our research institutions. So our research institution has to be empowered, they have to be funded, and I have seen from the framework of that manifesto that there will be commitment to increase the budget item for education. But I want to really converse that within the component of that budget, enormous budget should be allocated for local research. And that local research that is empowered through the local content policy framework. Right. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Honorable SE, I would like to give you a double-edged question. Lessons learned. First, I'm giving you like two questions in one. First, you relate to us lessons learned from what the two previous speakers have mentioned, and like lay an inference from a reality point of view from the average school guy that's enthusiast in IT.
Okay. From the two speakers, Dr. Niron and Ambassador Olusegun, you see, I want to add my elder brother, engineer. He said something very important, and maybe we did not pay attention to that very well. So let me re-echo that. He said he's holding a phone of over almost 1 million, but it's still not giving him the optimal performance of what he requires to do with the phone. That means on the opportunities you are talking about, we have to lay serious emphasis on the hard infrastructure, because that is the baseline of infrastructure, just as Doctor is talking about baseline on skills development or digital literacy, because you need that to be able to exhibit what you have learned. So, in essence, the government should and the private sector should come together and start working on our infrastructure. Because what makes the developed world different from us is not the skills. We are even more brilliant than most of them, but we don't have the infrastructure to work on. That is key. Doctor, the lesson learned from what Doctor has said is that STEM D should be an emergency. Right from our primary school, we should include digital literacy on point. Then Doctor talked about, Ambassador talked about local content. That is very, very important. I am suggesting now, I have also suggested that in Kogi State and one time at the Federal Ministry of Education on ICT development policy for education, I told them that why don't we have, apart from NITDA, that's an agency, we should have what we call Bank of IT, just like have a Bank of Industry, just to fast track the development of our IT. So I believe this renewed hope document should look at this. In practical terms, what people have said to me as an IT advisor in the state is that they have a lot of things they want to do, but they don't have the money to be buying data. So we need broadband technology so that they'll be able to showcase what they have upstairs. So that is very key. These are the major problems we are having. So the one hub, one community idea is very important so that you can bring technology closer. You don't have to move from your community to do what you want to do. So you can be in your community and you belong to the whole world. Thank you very much.
Right. So I'd like to the last parting question. I'll relate to the One Hub, One Community initiative. How can we make it happen? Parting 30 seconds, last word. Starting from Engineer Rufai.
And I believe that is the only way. In the industry, I was taken as an outliner in 2004, in 2005, 2006, because the country was more looking at fiber. And we felt that within our environment, that is going to take a very long time, and that is not going to be feasible because of the way and manner we live in Nigeria. When you say fiber to home, you are just dreaming. And when you go into the north, where you have people living in communities, maybe of 100 people here, then you move about 5 kilometers, you meet 500 people, you move about maybe 50 kilometers, it dispersed. You can't crisscross the Nigerian communities with fiber. It's impossible. Then, when you lay these fiber optics, along the road, from one state to another, it is what we call a single point of failure. In the sense that either intentionally or unintentionally, maybe they are constructing new road, because we don't even have roads in this Nigeria. Once you get out of Abuja, you will know that Nigeria is roadless. I was in Kotongora just some 2 weeks ago. I'm into mining, so I entered the bush a lot. I drove 49 kilometers for 5 hours. 49. Wow. In fact, I was going with 2 cars. Eventually, we'll have to park one, right, and go with another one. So the only way, feasible way, to do a community and a smart city, or a community, one hub, is to pour, a broadband via satellite just once and to everywhere. Right. You will not believe, sir, that the Nigerian satellite did not only cover Nigeria, we cover about 34 countries. And we cover 10 countries in Europe, and we cover China. Right. But unfortunately, the industry turned their back to it. Why? Because they said this is government. Government has no business in government. Right. But my own position is that government has every business in business. Right. In the sense that since we launched the satellite in 2006 and relaunched in 2008, right. Who, from the perspective of Nigerian private sector, that has taken the initiative to launch another satellite from private sector perspective? Not even the big giants in the telecommunication industry. Not MTN. And what MTN is buying together as bandwidth is more than a whole satellite. Right. But they are buying it from Europe. Right. I'm mentioning names now. They hate me before they can continue to hate me. There's no problem about that. Right? So the government has to intervene because there are certain things they cannot do. There are certain things. If you are talking of training Nigerian youth now to become IT savvy, train them in basic things, coding, train them in certification, Oracle, Apple, and whatever certification, Microsoft certification at different levels. The private sectors cannot do it. Right. But the government can do it and train 10 million, train 20 million. And once you have this reservoir of talents, the industry will come and meet them. Absolutely. Because the industry, they call it a pull effect. Right. Once they know that they can get this, maybe 10,000. In fact, by the time people start writing certification examination, Oracle, and they are writing from their various domains, maybe in Lagos, in Kaduna, in Kano, and they see 5,000 people writing and they are passing, they will say, wait a minute, something's happening here. Yeah. let's go there. Right. So this is how Indians pull all these big giants to Hyderabad and Mumbai and other big IT hub in India. Right. So it is very, very important that we go satellite and back it up with a terrestrial and microwave hotspots. So if we do this, then we can easily ramp broadband to a lot of places. Because what's important is that the whole country is connected. Right. If you are talking of digital economy, it's a situation. Entire economy is run on a digital platform. Right. Now, just to migrate the television system from analog to digital, since 2012, we have been battling with it. Right. I am one of the licensees in that aspect. Right. And while I was on seat in 2012, the issue came up and I said, go satellite. Right. Because we can do it within 1 month. Right. They said, no, it's terrestrial. And I said, you will never achieve it. Up to today, we didn't achieve it. I wasn't a prophet of doom, but because I know the challenges. Right. Because by the time you start building towers here, you have to power them. Right. We have problem with power. Right. Now you have some of these towers in areas that are not habitated. By the time you put diesel there, overnight, the thieves will enter and remove everything. So a lot of challenges. Right. So if we go satellite, it is, the very easy way, because technology has advanced in such a way that what we spent in 2004, about $250 million to build the satellite, if you spend the same money now, the value, the kind of bandwidth you are getting is more than 50 times what we got at that time through what is called high throughput satellites. Right. So we need to do that, and we need to do that quickly. If the government has launched this infrastructure, the private sectors can come and take it. Right. I mean, they can buy everything of the government, then government will launch another one again, because it is far, far easier to government to access funding for this. What government needs to put down is just paper. They call it sovereign guarantee. Sovereign guarantee is just an ordinary paper. Yes, I commit. Borrow me the money, I commit, I'll pay back. It's as simple as that. Right. So if the government does it, what the private sector need to do is to say that when you launch it, you sell it to us. Don't do the business. Right. So I think this was the understanding, because they thought government was trying to come back after finishing NITEL, coming back through the back door. If there's an understanding between the private sector and the government can easily provide that enabling platform, includes the high cost, high capital, that is required to set up this infrastructure. And let me tell you one of the tricks that the Chinese are using. Chinese economy initially was built 100% by government, 100%. Now they are withdrawing, and they are giving it to them at no cost. Let me use Ajakuta Steel as an example. Ajakuta has been there for how many years now? It can't work. If you go there as an engineer, you cry. Now, in China, what they will do is to look at somebody with proven record. Let me say Dangote. He has succeeded in the industry, and other people like him. Right. They will say, go to that place, make it run, make profit, then give us some money thereafter, without even asking him for anything. Now, I asked one time, one of my own colleagues in China, so why are people doing this? They said, we have an army of 1.4 billion people. Right. That if these people are unemployed, they can use their hand to take over the government.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Satellite is key. Party North, Kaniro.
Yep. 54%. 54%. That is the global skills shortage. It has never been this high in the history of humankind. When you go around Nigeria today, there is hardly a community that you don't see one or two of government established so-called hubs. Why have they not been meeting the yearnings of Nigeria? About 2-3 months ago, the World Bank lamented, we have spent so much money to build capacity of Nigerians, but what have we seen of Nigeria? The Nigeria skill development strategy is ranked among the worst in the world. So the question is, what are we not doing right? It's a good thing to have a hub and to a community, but what exactly should we now be thinking of, putting in the hub that will make it very attractive, that will put Nigerian bank back on the lane to success? There's something I called the book of life, right? If today we are asked, everybody should resign his or her jobs, and that we are going to take you back based on the minimum requirement for employment, sincerely speaking, less than 20,000 Nigerians will qualify. Right. That is the fact. So in the hope we are actually looking to having in our renewed hope, we should ensure that, one, we make provisions for people for converting that up to a certification center. It is very important. Some people will be talking of paper. If you have a skill today that is not validated, it's no skill. Right. So how do we get it validated? If you go to CASU, and at the end of the day, you just came up with nothing. After going through all the courses, no exam was conducted, nothing was validated, what would you be claiming? So in coming up this with one up, one society project, we should ensure that we put that, we make them to be functional. Right. So that the product of this up can actually compete favorably well with anybody from any part of the world. Know that skill is now universal. Right. What the standard is in Nigeria should be the standard I believe in local content. Yes. But why can't we turn our local content to international content? Yeah. It is possible. Yeah. So please, Nigeria is a signatory to mobility of whatever, of labor. Right. Right? That the entire world is looking at us is just to think less of what we need to contribute to salvaging this world. So please, yes, we believe in the renewed hope. Right. And I know efforts are on to ensure that all these are put in place, so that an average Nigeria in the next position will be the toast of the world. And Nigeria can reap that, what do you call it, sir? That repatriation, or what, you use one word? Remittance. We have them, and we can do. We never carry last two. Right. We may be late to start, but when we start, we get to the front. Ever done, imagine. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Local standard, international standard. Parting words, Ambassador Sheikh.
Well, I'm going back to the first question, the first question that we should answer. I like your projects, and it usually start with faith.
Yeah.
And in my own parlance, they say faith is substance of things that you hope for. And then, if you need to have a substance, then I will advise you that do not go the way of the so-called Silicon Valley hubs.
Yes.
Now, identify your unique value. Engineer talked about one daring, I love it, one daring, a private sector-driven space mission in Nigeria.
Yeah.
That is a very daring vision. And if you create a unique value, I'm just giving an example. So your hub should have one unique value, not two, not three. Then when you do that, then you can initiate a crowdsourcing strategy to fund it. Don't usually have Nigerian mentality that it is my project. If the project will impact me as a business person, if it impacts the NGO, if it impacts a teacher, then create a crowdsourcing where everyone can have a part, can contribute, even if it is 15 naira, 100 naira. Then you have that. Then you can create the pool of resources that you need. Then the last one, which is very, very important. I've been hearing people saying this. But anywhere in the world, be it Facebook, be it Twitter, I've never seen any international or multinational institution that does not have the backing of their government. Absolutely. So whatever you want to do, I will advise that you align your business strategy with the most strategic political platform. Because if you don't do that, you are going to have policy bottleneck. Absolutely. With one single policy statement, they can upturn a lifetime investment. Absolutely. So that's just my advice. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Wow, what an energetic and electric session. Thank you, Dr. Niran. Thank you, Ambassador Shegun. Thank you, Engineer. Thank you, Ismail Omar. You've given us, from different perspectives, what we can ponder and localize it to our the very barest minimum level so that we can do our part in our little way in this era of renewed hope. Then perhaps the story in the next couple of years will be different. Thank you all for listening to our long and some may say, huh? Oh yes. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much. A round of applause for this wonderful moderator and his team of panelists. Nigeria is a great country that possesses people with intelligence, people with humanitarian gesture, people that have all the capabilities to do the best for the country. If I say Jagaban, you say renewed hope. Jagaban? Me, even as an analyst, all of us are political animals. All I want in next government in case, just make me messenger that we move from villa to states to snap potholes where there are no pipe-borne water, where there is gender inequality, where there is no employment, and where industries that Federal Ministry of Trade and Industry has budgeted for has not been established. Round of applause for your wonderful selves. We want to thank you. Before coming to the third panel discussion, that we are going to have the person of Mary Makanjola as moderator. Mary, can I cite you, please? Mary, you stand up. I'm the commander-in-chief. I want to see you standing. Thank you very much. You'll be getting ready. The question I want to throw here, you all spoke good British, German, and American English. I am hoping and hopeful that all of you, by the grace of God, when Jagaban emerges, you are going to be seen by us. Because sometimes when we are seeing you in programs like this, at the time, the me and Taikeoff Obedo, You call the phone and somebody will tell you, sorry, I'm boarding Lufthansa Air for United Nations General Assembly along the President and Commander-in-Chief. While we were discussing, we had entered one man that is respected in the media profession. He was editor of different newspapers. I want to recognize the presence of Mr. Ima Ifa, former editor with Leadership newspaper. Stand up, sir, for recognition. People have read your write-ups in Leadership newspapers. On this note, I'd like to call on Mary Makanjola, who is the moderator for the next topic, the renewed hope and women empowerment. Thank you very much. Round of applause for her. This is a woman affair. The first was woman moderator, the third is woman. Women will dominate the ministries under Jagaban. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. It's been a fantastic event so far. Yes. Now, this segment, it's based on the 49.3% of Nigerian population, and that is on the women. Women in the building, can I see you make a loudest noise in the house? That's it. We are all representing ourselves. Yes. Now, we've all been listening to the panel discussion so far, and also listening to what the manifesto has for us. Sorry. Now, this segment is going to look at what this renewed hope has for us. Now, we've all looked into how we have women inclusion in the government. We need to know what the government have for we the women. To join me on this segment, I will be calling panelists to help us out on how this will get to the mind of women in the grassroots. To join me here, I will be starting with a woman. She is the secretary to Tinubu Shetima International Campaign Committee. She is a woman of substance, and her name is Ajia Safa. M-U-I. Saudi Plus. Let's welcome Ajia Safa. You're welcome, ma'am. The next person to join us on the stage is a man. Yes, don't be surprised at that. Is a man to tell us what this coming government have in shape for us. This is a special advisor on rural and community development to the executive governor of Kano State. Please welcome to the stage Dr. Ibrahim B.M. Gauya. Last but not the least is the national coordinator to the Tinubu National Frontier. She is Agia Yasmin Binta Sabe. I want to welcome every one of you joining us on this call. Yes. Okay, I promise this session will be brief. It won't take much time as the second one. Now, I have one question each for the panelists. one individual questions. Now, the first one goes to Ajia Safa M.U. Adam. We've been talking about women empowerment, women empowerment, women empowerment. We've heard lots of it. We have major platforms out there that have been trying their best to make this achievable. Now, we want to know that to the grassroots level, to those in the rural area, what are the practical expected outcome of Nigerian women and their empowerment? Over to you.
أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. You got my name correctly. If you made a mistake, I would have demanded for a ram. But thank God you got my name correctly. But the office is the Secretary, Independent Campaign Council.
Apologies for that.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My principal and presidential candidate of our party, our great party, the APC, is a man that has been reckoned with his ability to carry the women along. He was recorded as the first governor in 1999 to pick a running mate, a woman, to govern the state of Lagos alongside with him. Now, there are certain things that he came up with in the Renewed Hope Manifesto, which I would like to go through. But before I do that, let me address us as women. There are certain things that I look at sometimes when it comes to women issues. And those things are the ability, the capacity of us being able to recognize that we don't really need education, even though it is God for us to be educated. We don't really need education to make a living. There are so many things that we can do, even by our hands, that will earn us a very good source of income. If you look at the rural women, talking about the grassroots, which our campaign office is actually mandated to canvass for votes at the grassroots level for our principal. In the grassroots, we have women that handle local businesses. And we look at them sometimes, we think these businesses are not thriving for them. And we wonder sometimes how they actually make a living out of such businesses. We have the akara seller, the akara frying seller at the grassroots level. Some of them, they only do the akara, some add up the pap alongside. Now, if you make an estimate of 1 calabash of that akara before she fries, you'll be shocked to find out the amount of money she will make from that frying of that akara per day. A couple of years back, I sat down and I did an estimate. At that time, according to how much the akara was being sold, I discovered that in a day, that calabash of grounded beans will make nothing less than 30 to 35,000 naira. Now, these akara sellers usually sell that akara every morning or every evening, and sometimes including Sundays. So going by monthly income, if you multiply 30 to 35,000 naira, you'll be amazed at how much she makes a month and how much she will be making in a year. These are ways that she fends for her family, pays for her children to go to school, and the rest of it. Now, looking back at our principal and his manifest, I would like to run through a few points that I picked out from the manifest. Going by gender sensitivity, and no apologies. I usually prefer to make my preferences to women. In our principal's manifest, under education, being gender friendly to gender youths. And before I read out what I pointed out, I would like to emphasize on one statement that the Executive Secretary of the National Board for Technical Education is fond of saying, skills, not degrees. You might be educated, you might have all the degrees, you might have all the master's degrees, and you end up, even with a PhD, you end up without a job. And without having the skills, you end up not knowing how to fend for yourself in life. Having said that, educated, skilled populace advance higher than non-skilled and are guarantors of a healthy economy and development system of a country. My principal's government will treat education as a natural and constitutional right to all Nigerians. His administration will reform the educational sector by focusing on quality, access, funding, management, effectiveness, and competitiveness. Institutions will be based on its objectives as follows: ensuring an abundance of qualified and capable educators, creating safe and conducive environments for learning, improve education outcomes in Nigeria, giving priority to technology-based learning resources, improving teachers' welfare, introduce new school management board for the education, restructuring the institution's system, introducing student loans, the STEM incentives. All this will be beneficial to our girl child in Nigeria. Under the health sector, my principal's healthcare reform and policies agenda shall be defined by the concept of universal health coverage that will create jobs, bring greater economic and social development to Nigerians. The administration will frantically address the health challenges with proffered solutions to inadequate health infrastructure, fragmentation of a burdened workforce, poor insurance coverage, high maternal and infantile mortality, inadequate preventional care, and dependence on importation of medical drugs and vaccines. Health sector governance and leadership implementation with effective coordination between the federal, state, and local government, giving emphasis to mental health and drug abuse, which is weighing down on every shoulder of almost every family in Nigeria today. The digital economy, innovation, and entrepreneurship. The administration will take greater advantage of innovations such as the blockchain technology in finance and banking sectors. Under the fourth industrial revolution, this will provide millions of new job opportunities in the ICT sector for the youth, gender inclusion, technical manufacturing, sports, gender youth encouragement in sporting activities with coordinated development programs and an enabling sporting environment and the best policy in the industry. Entrepreneurship. With approximately 130 million Nigerians aged 15 to 35 years, we have a vast army of able, energetic, and working, willing people. Capacity of building the nation on the path of its finest destiny. My principal's administration will work with and for, with emphasis, he will work with and for the youths, providing them with a platform that they will fulfill their greatest aspiration. Currently, 33% of youth population living in misery will be engaged with an easy access to credit, business mentoring, business incubation centers, youth advisory council, and a reform of the Nigerian Youth Service Corps. The social political empowerment, reducing the rate of unemployment youth, totaling about 21.5 million Nigerian youths. Coming to women empowerment, social political inclusion, assured to at least 35% that is yet so far to be achieved. Our principal's administration will also fight domestic violence, abuse, educational parity, help most disadvantaged people, economic empowerment, cash transfer, easy access to loans, social investment programs, homegrown school feeding programs. Our principal's administration will expand existing programs and introduce new social investment programs to create jobs and business opportunities, particularly for women and young progressive women. Under agriculture, in my principal's manifesto, women will benefit from the agricultural sector through commodity board establishment of minimum price for strategic crops such as the cashew nuts, the cocoa, sesame, seeds, soya, cassava, yam, okra, tuber, palm kernel, granules. By guaranteeing income for the farmers, women will also have access to grain reserve and food storage. Farm cooperatives that would include pooling resources to purchase or lease farming equipment, such as tools, such as fertilizer, will be given priority by his administration. Now, going by what he has outlined in his manifesto, these sectors of education, health, the IT, and the agriculture have already touched the lives of all women in Nigeria. Going by his antecedents, my principal is a person that identifies people by their intellect. Sitting with you for 5, 10 to 15 minutes, he can identify what you are good at. He can tell you exactly where you will do well. So he's good at identifying especially the youths, the gender-friendly youths. That's the young ladies. And by outlining all these programs from education downwards, as it is already known and established, the fact remains, educating a woman educates a nation, and no woman, no nation. So I believe that every female in Nigeria will be positively impacted by the principles and the legacies of our principal, having evidently known that this is something that he was able to achieve as a governor of 8 years in Lagos State. I believe he can turn around this nation economically and developmentally. So I believe by pointing out these issues, I believe I have answered your question. And our campaign office is moving to the grassroots for campaign, canvassing for votes for our principal. And by so doing, we're going to ensure that we carry along the whole grassroots level women along in political activities. We also encourage the women to come out and vie for political offices, participate in politics, in active politics, and the rest of it. So I believe that our principal is going to do well for every Nigerian woman, irrespective of age, whether you are among the youth bracket or not. Thank you.
Wow, wow. You've said way more than expected. Thank you so much, ma'am, for listing out all we need to learn from the manifesto, especially the words that concern women. And I believe the audience have grabbed some things from what you've laid out, and we look up to that as the principal emerges the presidency. Now, talking about the education, as you said, educating the woman, definitely the nation is safe. I'm going to direct this to Ajia Binta Sabe. I just want you to add just a few lines to what our mentor over there has mentioned, that's Ajia Safa. I just want you to add few lines because of the time, that talking about the girl-child education, what do you have to say or add into what she has said so far that we are expecting from the manifesto, and not just expecting it to be actualized, to come to practice, to come to reality for those in the grassroots, those in the rural area, because they are the ones that complete us as a nation. Please, ma'am, let's just hear from you about the educating the girl child.
Thank you very much. You've said it all, and like my mentor, Aja Safa just said, Secretary ICC, Ashiwaju has been on this dream for hope for over 20 years, and this is going to be a reality for a renewed hope, because the girl child is very, very, very important in the Renew Hope Manifesto, and Nigeria is going to be great, and we need to all come out and work together so this will be achieved, because we are already getting ready to get to the grassroots to make sure we preach about the girl child's education up to the grassroots level. And Renewed Hope is a dream come true for all women and all girl child in Nigeria.
Thank you so much for giving us a comprehensive expression on that. Now, the last question goes to Dr. Ibrahim Gaya. Dr. Ibrahim, I hope you're not distracted. All right. As a representative, a special advisor to the Kano state government, I know you've had your shared experience so far. I would like you to share to the audience and to those who have the opportunity to see this program today. We want to know if women inclusion is coming to stay, as in stay in totality. Are we expecting more participation of women in the governance across all tiers of government, minus the women affair? Yes, minus the, we don't want it to just be focused on women affair. We want women in all areas in the government. Sir, you have the mic.
Thank you so much. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank God, you know, from the sitting arrangement, you should know that women empowerment is the key for this government, the incoming government of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, because they are the majority here, as you can see in the podium here. As the question just came in, everybody here can bear me witness. Everybody here can testify to the fact that Bola Ahmed Tinubu, which is the principal in this presidential campaign, is the bedrock and the catalyst for women development in Nigeria. One, I'm buttressing the point of my senior colleague here, that he was the first person that took a lady, 1999, as his deputy, whereas before then, women were seen as if they are incapable, they are seen as if they are just married women to keep children only at home. But Bola Ahmed Tinubu found it necessary to make sure that a woman was his running mate. So I think the principal, without any iota of doubt, has that in his agenda, has that in his manifesto, that women empowerment is the bedrock and the catalyst for the incoming government. as we see it. And at the same time, let us come from the perspective of where I come from. I come from Kano State, and at the same time, Kano State empowered a lot of women that is synonymous to the manifesto of the principal, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Kano State has the first accountant general of the state, which is a woman. And again, we have 35% representation of women in government, which the manifesto of Bola Ahmed Tinubu have captured that. In terms of empowering women, Kano State government, and at the same time, you know, why I'm referring to Kano State government is because it is the same method with Asiwaju. The same manifesto of Asiwaju is what has transpired in my state government. So now, when we talk of women empowerment, we are not just saying that we need to give them money. Money alone is not empowering a woman. Empowering a woman, there is social inclusion in governance, which the manifesto have captured that, social inclusion in government, in governance. Giving them political appointment, giving them the leverage to contest for any position from the rank of presidency down, making sure you educate them, because when you educate a woman, you educate a nation. So here, the principal has given much emphasis on women empowerment. And I'm assuring from the manifesto of the principal, which is Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, we are quite sure that women will be given what is made for them, and they will be part and parcel of this government, if not even 35% or even more than 35% in government. At the same time, when we talk of education, education is also a catalyst. Education is also a bedrock. So this government, the manifesto have captured that, and I'm quite sure you will agree with me that there's no any manifesto that can be able to meet up with the one we have for Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Just very recently, there's a women societal development in Kano that empowered about 1,500 women, which now they are empowered with different types of small businesses. And again, they were taking 200 young ladies were taken to PAN, Peugeot Automobile in Kaduna, for auto repairs of vehicles, which is the first in the northern part of this country, and other states are copying from. So I'm telling you, with the renewed hope, we are sure that the way it started is going to continue by emergence of Bola Ahmed Tinubu as the next president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. I make my point here, and thank you most sincerely for listening.
Please. Women in the house, are you convinced? I can feel that. Women in the house, are we convinced? And so shall it be. All right. I want to thank our panelists for a great time. Yes, we really had fun. I had fun, and I'm still having the fun. Don't let me put it in past form. I'm still having fun, and I believe with this renewed hope manifesto laid out, we believe that this plan action will come to reality, that every one of us, including the men and the women, will benefit and make Nigeria the better, improved country we hoped for. Thank you once again for being here. And here we come to the end of this panel discussion. I believe we've all learned a lot. And let's please sit back and wait for the next session. Thank you all.
Another round of applause. United Nations round of applause. African Union, G7. Yeah, group photograph for you. Clap for them again, please. I was born by a mother Chief of Army Staff is born by a mother. General Abacha was born by a mother. Our incumbent President Buhari was born by a mother. If you have a wife and you have not capacitated and emancipated her, don't say hello to me. Women are the best. Whether the one selling okpa, akara, akpu, amala, pandedian, or whatever, women must be respected. World over, women have been prime minister in UK, Philippines, Nicaragua, Pakistan. One day, women will become president and commander-in-chief in Nigeria. I love women because the woman gave birth to me. 9-month pregnancy is not an easy task. So if you are a husband that don't respect women, we are not going to give you anything in Nigeria. Thank you very much. Please, can you all get seated, because it is when we are organized that we are going to enjoy a renewed hope for understanding the realities of Renewed Hope Manifesto, which comprises of youth empowerment and entrepreneurship, digital economy, women empowerment, and social programs. When you talk about women empowerment and entrepreneurship, if in your society you are able to make entrepreneurs, you have no time wasting to get civil service or security job. When you are on your own, you will be a better thinker, you will be independent, and that way you are going to do a lot. On this note, without taking much of your time, we want to go to the fourth panel discussion with the topic social response programs in the era of Renewed Hope. Once again, I'm going to move the British accent, Shirley. Shirley, are you there? I want to have you here. You're going to make the moderation on this topic once again. Round of applause for her, please. Thank you, ma'am.
Our master MC threw a challenge at the women when he requested for prayers before the beginning of the program. And he made emphasis to the Muslims, citing that some of the Muslims cannot even recite the first surah in the Quran. So I want to take up his challenge by saying a prayer for our nation, for my principal, my political mentor, my leader, my father, Ashwaju Adekunle Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Allahumma inni as'aluka bi ismika ya ahad ya wahid ya hamid ya rashid ya ba'is ya waris ya barri ya nafi'u ya azam kull azim ya ahkam kull hakim ya aqdam kull qadim ya akbar min kulli kabir ya andaf min kulli nadif ya ajal min kulli jalil ya azam min kulli aziz ya man khalaqa fa sawa ya man qaddara fa hada ya man yakshif al balwa ya man yasma an najwa ya man abhaka wa abqa ya man amata wa ahya ya man khalaqa zawjayn az-zakara wal unsa. By your most beautiful names that I mentioned, O Allah, I ask that you grant our principal, our presidential candidate, flag bearer of our great party, the APC, Ashwaju Adekunle Bola Ahmed Tinubu, victory on February 25th, 2023, inshallah. And by your most beautiful names that I mentioned today, I pray that our country will once more in our lifetime witness peace, joy, and happiness. May this election, the victory of this election, witness the victory that will turn around the nation without religious and ethnic barriers. When I was growing up in Kaduna State, I did not know the difference between religion or tribe. We used to sleep in each other's houses. We used to eat each other's food. So by your most beautiful names that I mentioned, oh Allah, I ask that you bring out that peace that I grew up knowing. May it return to Nigeria, inshallah. May we witness more and more success and victory in our entire lives, inshallah. May we live a better Nigeria for our generations yet unborn, inshallah. Amin ya Rab. Thank you.
Thank you very much. 21 gun salute to my mommy. He was created complete, tall, fair, brilliant, intelligent, human, hospitable. I don't know for her. You see, when you invite people like us that appears on television and radio to be MC, there is plenty problem. because the stress itself will make you get the best. For me, for 1 minute, because the convener just drew my attention to something. Ajia, Safa, Adam, thank you very much. You are of the Independent Campaign Council. God bless you, ma. My prayer is that when Asiwaju is constituted, you are going to be given Ministry of Defense, where there is much money for Army, Navy, and Air Force. On this note, I'd like to hand over the microphone to Mustapha Ibrahim, because there is a presentation that's going to be made to winners. Thank you.
Okay, I would also like to invite Mr. EMC to give us the result on the competency test that was conducted. Then we determine the winner and...
Hey, good evening, everyone. I would like to stand on the existing protocol. The digital literacy baseline assessment that we conducted on the general level to sample the opinion of the youths to know their competency in digital literacy because of the digital era that we have. And some of the results were very interesting and their comments. But majority of them said there is need for reskilling. And the federal government, the Nigeria as a whole, should put in mind of the youth and giving them adequate skill in digital era. So I'll call some of the participants to come here so we can give them a handshake and a little token. The first person on the list, Richard Blessing, should come over. I'll also call Ahmed Agib Emmanuel. Fred Ogbole. Asabe. And the last person is Amzad Aliyu Adam. Amzad Aliyu Adam.
Amzad Aliyu Adam. Okay, it's not.
Nu'u Asabe. Are you here? Okay. Fred Ogbo. Nuru Asabe. Where is Nuru Asabe? Wow. Gone. Okay. Ahmed Emmanuel. Then Blessing Richard. Okay. On behalf of Salt and Sand, Renew Home, we give it and we'll say thank you for showing us you rescued and you be useful for this nation after you've been rescued. On behalf of the Sight and Sound Renew Hope, we hand over and I'll say congratulations and thanks for coming. Amen, Emmanuel. On behalf of Sight and Sound Renew Hope. Yes, our winner for today is called the highest score, though he didn't meet the cutoff, the global cutoff mark, but is the highest, and he did very, very well. I must tell you. I'm the person of Amzad Aliyu Adam. Sorry, but you will help us to present this to him. Hamza Ali.
Hamza, on behalf of the Sights and Sounds of congratulations, boy. May it be of benefit to you. Congrats. Congrats, mommy.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you very much, Mr. Yemisi. Please come back. Mr. Yemisi, come back. For those of you that watch AY, that comedian, don't they look alike? Don't go to Lagos, or if you are London, guess go, Amayo. Round of applause for the award recipients. Yes, sorry, Madam Shirley, the moderator for the fourth panel discussion with the topic, social programs in the era of renewed hope. It is now your time to shine, Mrs. Shirley Efe Remo. Thank you very much. This is a double role you are playing today, from immigration to customs. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'm standing on the existing protocol. I welcome you once more to the final session in this August event. We are going to be looking at social programs in the era of renewed hope. And for social, when we say social programs, of course we are talking about what this generation feeds on. And we are going to be doing this with some well-meaning Nigerians here. I would like to call to the platform Professor Rukewe Ugwamba. Professor Rukewe, please, if you are here, come to the platform. The second panelist is going to be Madam Halima Alamai. Thank you so much. A round of applause, please. She has stayed all through the beginning till now. Thank you so much, madam. We are blessed to have you. The next person is going to be Jamila Isa, President TNF. Can you come to the platform, please? Thank you so much. You're welcome. A round of applause, please. Our final panelist is not here, Honorable Saratu. She called earlier to apologize. She sent her apology for missing this final session. I can assure you that this final session is going to be very brief, because we have spent our time is well spent. So we are going to take just a few short questions to round up the occasion. Probably you want to move, let me come closer to you. Yes, we are not many. It's a pleasure to be among very, very pretty women. That will only make me prettier. You know, I cannot be tired of that. Okay. I understand, so you're welcome, madam. When I grow up, I want to be like you. I'll tell you where I want to sit, the kind of chair I want to use, and you just have to give it to me. That's what's going to happen. Okay. We are looking at social constructs in the era of renewed hope. I would like to take probably one short question with you, madam. Yes, the question is going to be, there seems to be a wide gap between the daily social injustice the citizens suffer compared to effort put in. That is, compared to the effort that the government is putting into to ward off injustice, it doesn't seem to be having an effect. What is your view about that? From your profile here, you are the founder, Blanky, for the Needy Initiative, and it's an initiative that traveled far. It went very far. The first time I heard about that, I was not in Nigeria when I heard it. And I was excited that a woman from the north started an initiative, and she weathered the storm to bring it to the limelight. I want to congratulate you before you take that question. So, what do you think the government should do to bridge the gap between injustice and what is going on under this renewed hope, madam?
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وصلى الله على النبي الكريم. Well, Blanky for the Needy came in at the event of Borno's misfortune of insurgency. So we tried to succor the sufferings of the unprivileged people in Borno State, whereby the incoming vice president was the governor then. And the government have really played their role in seeing to it that this initiative have really reached its potentialities. So, whereby the APC government, to say, have also done its best by establishing the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs to see that these problems have been minimized. Then coming to the injustice, that what can the government do? With all honesty, I will tell you that we in Borno State, we have seen what the government have done to us to see that these injustices have been reduced to the minimal. First, by our former governor going helter-skelter to see that we have peace, to see that all things goes equal. And then he also went further to see that he has brought in an able person whom all you know is not a news what Professor Zulum is doing in Borno State. Then there came in the renewed hope, whereby the incoming president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, took our former governor, Senator Kashim Shettima, as his running mate. We in Borno State, we know that our hope has been renewed, and we know by extension Nigerians' hope have been renewed. So the justice you're talking about, on the side of the government, they've done a lot. The only thing missing is that advocacy to the rural and the common people to know what the government has done for them. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, Hajia. The rural women are going to feel the effect of what you have said, because we have all the media houses here, and we are coming to Kano. I'll be in Kano. I'll be there to work with the grassroots people early next month. Thank you so much for that lovely piece. Madam, I'll turn to you now to give us your beat. We're saying that the Nigerian government have done so much as regards to injustice, and the impact is not being felt in the citizenry. What do you think the government can do to bring it closer home?
Hello, everybody, my sisters and my brother. Before I answer that question, I would like to introduce myself, who I am. My name is Barrister Jamila. I'm a practicing lawyer for over 18 to 20 years now. And I'm coming from a home where injustice is not allowed. I grew up, apart from being a lawyer, with a passion that injustice cannot be done or meted on any fellow human being on the street. I will not leave you. Along the line, we started practicing this one-man business on the streets of Nigeria. Then, as I became a lawyer, I decided to register what we call Elmila Heritage Support Foundation. I put it heritage because my parents are illiterate. When you say somebody is illiterate, does not mean because we don't have Western education. They have Islamic upbringing where injustice is not allowed in Islam. My mom and my dad, they do that. So now that I find myself that I'm a lawyer, I register it, call it Elmila Heritage. Elmila is from my name. My name is Jamila. Elmila from my name, then my parent, Heritage, that I met them, they fight for injustice. As I register it, I continue with it in my law firm. In the law firm, I use my law firm to do pro bono services for those people, the needies. We go to court, we fight for them. At the end of the day, we win the cause. This person that the anchor person that do the sight and the sound is one of beginner. He's one of the person that started with us with this Dr. Nuro on ICT. I'm so proud of them that today, with their own career, together with social activity, Mujtaba is a wonderful person. Do you understand? It's not just to Muslims or Christians alone. Humanity before religion. Do you understand? God didn't bring religion before humanity. It's humanity, irrespective of who you are. Now, for us to identify, we're so passionate and proud to associate with sight and sound. No, they said the way you are, so you shall associate yourself. When you see the kind of your person you are, you see them, you know. And the Bible said, by their tread, you shall know them. When Jagaban is coming out, and we saw this sight and sound, we said, this is our person. This is our personal person. Because what we are doing, we have a father, a role model that is there already. So we need to associate with him. That was why we choose to associate with him. You understand? Because Jagaban, I will use what we call Maslow theory. I will describe him with Maslow theory. Maslow theory, I would have loved somebody to displace it in that place so that other people will see it. But now, since you cannot do that, I have it here. You start from the grassroots. Though for those of us that know what we call Maslow theory, you start from grassroots. You don't need to be a daughter or son of anybody. It's passion. It's in you. From Maslow theory, even you yourself, you need somebody to help you. You need somebody to help you as a child, looking for food, looking for water to drink. You start like that, then you want to reckon yourself with esteem, self-esteem. That is second stage. We can say that Jagaban starts from there. So he starts from there. From the grassroots, they recognize himself with self-esteem. From self-esteem, then cognition, recognition. The people now know, who is this person? Like what the sound and sight person, the anchor person is doing today. Mujitaba that is here today, who knows him as a son of somebody? You understand? But because of the education he has, the knowledge, the intellectual property that he has, he's gathering everybody. Today, here, the doctor, the ambassador, the lawyer, we are all here today. The philanthropy in nature, we are all here. You don't need to be anybody associated with somebody that they've gotten money. That is why you are a son of this, you are a daughter of this. That's why you are there. Philanthropy in nature, which is ICT stuff that he has today, is here. Musaba can be replaced by the ICT minister. What's his name? Pantami. So he's a young person. So we can replace him by Pantami today because he has gotten what it takes. From there, you now say self-actualization. I think Muji is in self-actualization. Myself in self-actualization. I wish to be a lawyer when I was very small. And I got that small children. Are you crying? Who beat you? This person did beat me. What happened? At the end of the day, okay, say sorry to him. Sorry, then you still love each other, we'll move on. Then I promise that I want to be a lawyer to be able to help the needy. Today, I've achieved myself, and I'm already a lawyer, practicing lawyer. There are so many lawyers who are there, they are shy, or they have phobia, they cannot practice. I choose to practice, irrespective of who you are. I will face you in court. Yesterday I was in court for a German man in Nigeria, which Nigeria is trying to defy him in Nigeria to do. We have so many Nigerians who are living outside the country. So if they do our people in that outside the country, in Germany, in UK, will you like it? Then you, as a German man in Nigeria, you have a license to be here to do one thing or the other, and Nigeria is trying to despise him. I will not take it. you can see that it's not just for Nigeria alone. Then if you narrow it down to why you are here today, the Jagaban of the Jagaban that we are talking about here is our father, is our role model. We are proud to associate with him today, with this man's story. I was in Lagos for 11 years after call to bar. I decided to stay where the hardest place. Then that was during Jagaban governor in Lagos. This man, he touched the life of everybody, irrespective of who you are. How do you know? He doesn't know me. Up to today, he doesn't know me. I give him kudos in that place. This is what we want, humanity. The guys they call Aguero in Lagos, this man gave them Lagos to be, he gave them, what do you call it, flour. He gave them flour and he's paying them 40,000. I'm talking about Jagaban. This is what I know. I don't want somebody to come and tell me that, what has the man done that you want to support him. Of course, when I started, about 3-4 months ago, I came out and I said, this is the person, because they've been seeing me during this present president, which is the Buhari. So they knew that the only me alone, my vote can give you 100 votes, as I am now. My vote alone can give you 100 votes. So if you ignore me that I'm not important, because I'm not important, you lose 100 votes. I just use 100 votes as an example. You understand? And I reckon myself with the needs. People at the grassroots, people you come on now, they are the one. They have largest percentage of voting. But you say you needed their vote, but you at the end of the day, you don't take care of them. I associate with them. If I'm going in Kabusa Junction now, once they see me a motto, Barisa Jamila, Barisa Jamila, Barisa Jamila, yes, this is what I want. They are the larger voter. They give them to what they want. Return them back to school. In the Elimila Heritage Support Foundation, we do psychosocial care, girl child education, women empowerment, and return back to school project. So we have about 11 children from nowhere, Christian and Muslim. We pick from the street. We return back. They return them back to school. This is what we do, and I believe that if we have opportunity, we'll do more. We'll do more, and they will recognize us that, oh, this person that is doing this. If you are in a leadership position, of course, you are going to touch their life positively, which is what Jagaban is doing. All the panelists that have already passed the left here, I heard them so much what they said. The ICT people that are in Australia, UK, and US. Without Jagaban doing that, how would those people become an ICT guru? The ICT does not, Jagaban does not know them. Even presently, the Lawal in the house that is Senate president, he is the one that puts him there. The issue of the man said, Emiloko, it does not mean, it goes beyond that. It's not like it's my turn. That's not what it means. A lot of people on social media abuse him and say, Emiloko, is Nigeria turn by turn?
Thank you very much, ma'am.
So a vote for Jagaban is a vote for good Nigeria. A vote for Jagaban is a no vote for new Nigeria and new hope. Vote for Jagaban is the best. The issue of Ada is old. Is he older than Buhari?
Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you very much for listening to me.
I really appreciate you for taking us to the background. We have gone back to basics. You have grown our knowledge from the beginning once more. At this point, I would like to ask the last question, and it's in relationship to the effect of poverty. Poverty excludes and alienates people. It separates you from the goings-on that are related to what you need. What do you see the renewed hope achieving in the area of poverty? What do you see them doing?
The renewed hope, I can see it's going to bring a lot to the poor people. Because going by the manifesto here, which is all inclusive, that says it all, that we will, our hopes and the hope of the common man has been renewed. By coming of our incoming president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the Jagaba, we knew that no hope is lost at all for anybody, be you the most needy or the needy person. So for us who has come from really the poor end, because Borno is the most hit state of poverty from what has happened to us over the 10 or 11 years period. We have not seen peace until now, peace is coming. And all is because of our governor, who has not slept at all, who has faced the fire and bullets of the insurgency, and all thanks to the Senator Kashim Shettima, who have seen light in him and chose him. And likewise, now, the choosing of Kashim Shettima as Vice President has really rekindled or has blown the light of our people. So there is really great hope, not only renewed, but complete hope of our people that Borno is going to be great, and by extension, Nigeria is going to be great.
I deeply appreciate your words and your recounting of the people who have contributed to the peace of Borno State. Thank you so much. And lastly, a short one, madam. I would like you to comment on what's your take on the renewed hope in relationship to poverty, exclusion, and segregation?
I will tell you that, okay, the Jagaban that we are talking about, he knows, to be very brief, a hungry man is an angry man. Poverty, if poverty is on you, you need food to eat. Jagaban will give you food. Jagaban will give you education. Jagaban will give you smile. He will give you everything. He will give you a new hope. From grass to grace, he will move you there. We know him. We tested tested and proven, and he's still doing it. We are seeing it today. So they will not, with Jagaban, there will not be hunger. Zero hunger. Zero hunger. That you Jagaban, zero hunger. You will go to the grassroots wherever you are. You will touch your life. Not the one that you give activity. They touch life. We don't know how many lives they have touched. It's only in figure that you see Jagaban will visit it. If he cannot go there, he will select people like us to visit that if they actually touch.
Thank you so much, my amiable madam. Thank you so much, Hajia. With this, we would like to bring this session to a close. And I would like to say I'm thoroughly educated. I have been educated by the panelists. And at this point, we would like to take a photograph and wave a goodbye to the crowd. Please, can we have that done?
Thank you very much. Thank you, Mas. While they are taking the photograph, another round of applause. When you appoint women to be your campaign managers, even the devil will vote for you. Asiwaju Shettima, it is a very perfect combination. We are coming to the closing ceremony of this program. The discussants extolled the potentiality of the vice presidential candidate of APC. I was in Bama, Metele, Maiduguri, Fika, and other areas. Let me tell you one thing. Amid the Boko Haram insurgency, Shettima Kashim, as a governor, was busy building schools with computers. Am I making sense? For those of you that have been to Borno, so for a man that amid insecurity has been able to break the jinx by building schools in order for people to go to school, that man deserves to be Vice President of Federal Republic of Nigeria. Jagaban is a lucky man. There is one thing you don't know in conclusions. Alaja Abiba Tumogaji, the mother of Asiwaju Ahmed Bola Tinubu, was a mobilizer in First Republic politics under Awolowo and Akintola. Round of applause for her. May Allah grant our soul Al-Jannah Firdausi. These are people that are people of history. He did not inherit politics by the roadside. He inherited it from the mother, late Alaja Abibatu Magaji Iyaloja of Lagos. On this note, we have finally come to the end of this glamorous, interesting, educative, insightful, and impressive program that centered around youth empowerment and entrepreneurship, digital economy, women empowerment, and social program. On this note, I'd like to call Awoyele Paul give us a short vote of thanks. Elder Awoyele, if you are there, I need you here. Thank you very much. God bless all of you as he walks down to give a vote of thanks, which marks the ending of this program. I know it has gone to America, Germany, China, including failed states like Somalia. Thank you, sir.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Standing on a system protocol, I want to use this opportunity to express my profound gratitude to the convener of this meeting, those who have contributed in various ways, our ambassadors, the panelists, resource people, and everyone who has contributed in one way or the other to the success of this program. We thank you for all your efforts and all that you have done to make it an epoch ceremony. Indeed, it is a resounding success, and we build on other series that will come up in other geographical location of this country. On behalf of the organizer, the conveners, the ambassador, the technical crew, and all those who are involved in this program, we wish you safe trip to your various destinations, and we pray that what you have started today, God Almighty will grant us the success we are aiming to achieve. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. We appreciate you. God bless you, and have a safe trip to your destination. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Elder Awoyele is a senior citizen. He's a retired deputy director. They were among the people that brought Fadama project to Nigeria. God bless you, sir. On this note, I want to call on Mr. Lemmy Johnson to give us Christian closing prayers. Please, sir. Prayer is very necessary and important because it makes a nation to stand against enemies. Okay. Thank you.
We are praying in Jesus' name. Heavenly Father, we have just come to say thank you. We say thank you and thank you and thank you for that which you have been able to make us achieve today. If it was not for you, perhaps this might not have been. But we say thank you for the fact that it took place. We have come, we deliberated, we have been educated much more than we ever imagined. My Father, we want to say thank you as we declare that peace, grace, and mercy be multiplied to all that have made it possible for this to happen today. And we say that as they return, Lord, may your goodwill follow them. May your purpose follow them. May your grace be available to them. In the name of our Lord Jesus. We thank you for the convenience, and we pray that your spirit will be continually at work with them, both to will and to do of your good pleasure, in all ramifications of life. In the name of our Lord Jesus. My Father, grace, we decree, be multiplied unto this. For in Jesus' mighty name we have prayed. Amen.
Thank you very much. If you are a pastor, a lot of women will come to your church because you are very handsome. Please don't go before the Islamic closing prayers. You as ambassadors and the conveners, we have official international pictures. So please, 1 minute will not be anything by your side. Thank you very much. Jamiu Yasin, please give us the Muslim closing prayers. Handsome, young, dynamic, and principled. Thank you.
Sallu ala Nabi al-Karim. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad wa sallim. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad wa sallim. Kama sallaita ala Ibrahim wa ala Ibrahim annaka Hamidum Majid. Allahumma barik ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammadin kama barakta ala Ibrahim wa ala Ibrahim annaka Hamidum Majid. Allahumma ighfir li hayyina wa mayyitina wa shahidina wa ghahibina wa saghirina wa kabirina wa dhakarina wa unsana. Allahumma man ahyayta minna fa ahyi ala al-Islam wa man tawaffayta minna fa tawaffa ala al-iman. Allahumma la tahrimna ajra wa la tudillana ba'dahu. اللهم أعوذ بك من عذاب القبر ومن عذاب جهنم ومن فتنة المحيا والممات ومن شر فتنة المسيح الدجال. الفاتحة. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين.
Thank you.